really rough start. It's probably okay. God is good. Okay. Yeah, those are some of the factors that you need to consider. Okay, what are some ahas? What have you learned so far?
Well, definitely like the buying power.
Buying power is
Because
good.
that you always try to say, like where you feel comfortable spending and what, so the buying power is good. I like that.
Get really comfortable with I don't want to say pushing, with strongly insisting that your buyers talk to a lender. Because again, you don't know you have no way of knowing your buying power. Well, I'll find a house and then I'll call a lender. Nope. Because we might not even be looking in the price range that you have buying power in, that you can afford, was what we would typically say. And you don't want to be disappointed. We want this to be a pleasant experience, not one of disappointment. So there's lots of things you can say. What else? Give me another aha.
I mean, I know this, but maybe somebody doesn't, like just the lender thing, like having them use a local lender. And I know you can't sway them one way or another, but if you could strongly suggest that they use a local lender. I've had some that used lenders that were out of state and it was awful. Like one was in California and the other guy was in Texas and this guy was here and like nobody's on the same time zone and I couldn't get anything done. Closing was delayed. It just makes it easier when like you can literally have their cell phone number, and not that you would call them late, but if you needed something, like that's huge. That's my only thing.
Ben with Gershman's went over a closing disclosure to prove your point at 9 o'clock at night with the buyer. Who does that? Not somebody in California, not somebody in Texas, not even like a Rocket Mortgage or even a banker. Really, that's true. You guys, that's huge. And to get somebody pre-qualified on the weekend.
Gershman Mortgage.
Justin. And we use Ben. We use Ben.
Justin's also there, so that they're great.
Yeah.
I had a terrible experience recently with a lender, so it's
Right across the street.
Like a local lender.
Gershman Mortgage.
How do you spell it?
Local lender.
GRSHAN.
Oh,
Gershman.
wow.
I don't even know how or where to start.
Mortgage.
It took 5 days.
Justin and Ben are the two.
Justin Mortgage and Ben, I don't know Ben.
Helmrich.
Helmrich.
Yeah.
Helmick.
Helmrich, HELMRICK, I think.
CH.
CH. Okay, CH.
RICH.
It's done.
They're gonna be 25 years.
Just in case.
I don't know how to.
Okay, so guys, any other thoughts, any questions before we go to the next section? Build your expertise.
Can I ask for a polite way to suggest for them to find or reach out maybe to a different lender?
Can I ask who they're using?
No, she did.
Hopkins,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Hopkins Mortgage.
Yes, you can just say, you know what, I can appreciate that you've already selected a lender, but let me tell you the value of a local lender. Let me tell you the value of somebody that I know is tried and true, will close on time, will be available. Communication is huge with these lenders, huge. We'll update you. We always get emails from Ben saying where in the process this is. I mean, yeah. So I would just tell you, it's your buyer, obviously? Yeah. You know what? And so Haley is putting the house under contract that I have listed right now. And they're 2 doctors out of Lourdes, I think, or something.
Baptist, but yeah.
Baptist. And they already have their big gun lender in Indiana. She's not going to persuade them. So there's no point. But just how well do you know them?
Not very well. I got them off of Austin.
Have you suggested them another lender, a local lender?
I need to gather myself before we look at another house.
Okay.
I need to gather myself and find a great way to suggest that.
Well, and that's where, yeah.
And I'm kind of worried that they're from the same town where she's from, that they might be from this kind of.
Well, and if they are, you're
something.
not going to convince them.
And so I don't
otherwise.
want to step on a toe by even trying to convince, but I heard them talking. They're like, is this a family member or somebody who's church with them or something?
Well, you can ask them. So how long have you banked with them, or how long have you,
Yeah.
known the people? And if they do have a personal connection, then yeah, you're not gonna be able to persuade them.
Into it.
But so there was an
Oh,
email,
gosh.
there was an email that I saw yesterday, and I'll see if I can find it. But a lot of times, and Haley had this happen last week, they had a referral and, she was talking to him and she had said, you know, who's your lender? And it was like, the Rocket.
It was
I'm just
something-
gonna say, it was something that wasn't local. And she said, you know, well, is there any way you'd be willing to maybe even check with a local lender? And he's like, well, I don't want my credit pinged again. So I got an email yesterday, and it said, have your client go to this website, and I'll try to find it and share it with you guys. Where it doesn't, they don't even have to put their information in, they just put a few, kind of like what their, they don't have to put a name or phone number or anything like that in personally, they just put in their numbers, like maybe like what their yearly or monthly income is, that kind of thing. And it gives them like who has the best rate for them, who can help them the best. And it gives them different
That's great.
names.
Wow, it is.
So-
Any material you.
I haven't checked it out. I probably should have done it on myself just to kind of see how it works. I mean, you may want to do that. Just shout, but that's the thing. Their credit doesn't always have to be
Yeah.
pinged for them to check with another lender. Because that lender can do the same thing, run those numbers.
Well,
you
and
guys-
guys, give them the middle credit score, because there's three. There's TransUnion, Equifax, and another one. I tell them, just ask your lender to give you those three numbers. And when you call another lender, give them that middle number, because that's federally regulated. And that's the number all lenders use.
Like, I would even say something as far as, like, they might be able to offer you, you know, a better rate, a better deal, something that makes it look like you're trying to help them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't know, like the one that Autumn was talking about. I reached out to the guy, he was using preferred rate or something online. I just I was personal with him and I said, listen, I had a deal that was awful. Like it almost fell apart. Like literally closing day almost fell apart because of the lender. So, you know, I recommend so and so, like these are the numbers. Like if you want to call them. I
It's
lost
not
that
coming up.
client because of that.
There it is.
So I mean, it's just kind of luck of the draw,
think
you know,
we're okay.
like he told me that he didn't appreciate that. And I mean, that was fine. I was just trying to help
I don't know
everybody.
how you would lose somebody that way. I don't understand, but maybe you didn't need.
Well, he thought, well, I don't want my,
He thought I was trying to get my local friends business, like local
Oh.
lenders.
Oh.
And that's not at all what I was doing, but working with an
Well,
out-of-state lender.
So ask questions. Would it be helpful? Would it be okay if I give you the name of a few local lenders? I'm looking up, Autumn, I'm looking to see your buyer guide.
Like I even
The
told him,
link that you
use whoever
sent
you
me.
want. It's your choice. But I'm just telling you, I had one that was out of state, one that was local, and communication was night and day. You know, it's just, I don't know.
Okay, so Autumn has done our buyer guide online. I'm looking to see, Autumn, if we have the link. Okay, see this page right here? This is, Autumn did us a booklet, a flip book. And we have lenders right here and we have inspectors right there. And that's in the buyer consultation, okay, the buyer guide. And
I
if
see
we
your
wanna do,
phone, because it might have been an email on yours.
Let's do
What's
it.
that buyer guide thing you got there?
this is Mike Spissinger's, I'm coaching him. And so he's done his first buyer guide. Oh, this is the listing packet. This is the listing packet because we're done with the buyer guide. So you guys need to do your listing packets and your buyer guides. And Ben has showed you in the team meetings where to find those in command.
Yeah.
That's for another training, okay?
That's what you're looking at.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this is our buyer guide online that we can email to buyers.
Oh,
And
okay, that's
on
yours
the,
then.
this is our buyer guide. And
Right.
so on here is the name of the lenders and the name of inspectors.
Genius.
You don't want to strong arm them to use your lender. You want to say, hey, these are lenders that we've recommended and people have been very satisfied with them. I have them in order of my preference. We would prefer you to call Gerstman's first. Before Gerstman's, for me, it was Jerry Ladd with Supreme Lending, but he retired. So then we had to, my team kept saying, Amy, you need to give Ben a shake. He's really, really good. And it's like, I've been working with Jerry for 9 years and he got everything done. He closed 99% of his loans. Gerstmann closes 99% of their loans. Ask your lender, what's the percent? Oh, Amy, we closed 75%. That's not good enough. That means 25%, and I'm gonna waste my time are gonna be dead in the water. We're not gonna close. So ask a lender what's your percentage of closing? That really, really matters. Okay.
It was on your email. It's www.didigetthebestrate.com. Didigetthebestrate.com.
Thank you.
So see if they might not be able to hear me. So
Okay, tell me what it is again. So the website Autumn is giving out is www.didigetthebest
didigetthebest.rate.com.
rate.com. So guys, write that down for those of you watching. Sorry. Conversation going on here. Okay, okay, now that you know how to connect with your market, you must know how to keep up with the market. Yet you may be thinking, how do I learn about my market? There's so much to know. First, you can remember one of the 6 personal perspective that relates to this. So I think it's the 6 personal perspectives. I can't spit them out. I should be able to. Can you spit out the 6 personal perspectives?
Self-commitment,
Self-mastery?
same, that's
Yes.
80-20, E to P, be accountable.
Okay, self-mastery. I think, good job, Haley. That's more than I can spit out right now, especially with coming in so late. And it's like, oh, this is nuts. Okay, make being learning-based the foundation of your action plan. You guys, I commend you all for being here. I commend you guys for being in Zoom. You're learning-based. There's so many new agents. I'm thinking, and I don't want to judge. I sound very judgmental right now, but why are we not here? You need to be here. You need to just pencil out bold. Bold's coming up. Do bold. It's going to be hard. It's going to stretch you. You're going to learn so much. And any of us can do it for 7 weeks, right? So I commend you guys for being here. Build your expertise. That's so, so important.
Just 5 weeks. Just 5 weeks.
What?
This class.
This class, just 5 weeks. You guys can do, I can show up late just for 5. Thank God. I teach the very last session too. I got to be here 30 minutes early.
Your side of her brain. So now
She is. So Autumn has been, she's our director of operations for the team. She's our transaction coordinator. She's my bookkeeper. She's not my CPA, but almost. You're my listing assistant. She wears so many hats. And she does. She can finish my sentences as good as my husband. That's scary. Okay, for her and for me. Okay, so once you know the market, is this kind of cut off? Okay, it is cut off on your end too, so that's it. Okay, once you know the market and are familiar with all the important numbers, it's time to begin building your expertise. Part of educating your buyers and sellers is becoming the local expert. Knowing the numbers is just the first step. Understanding, interpreting, and applying the numbers of your market to your lead generation and lead follow-up conversations are equally important. What are some ways you're already building your expertise? Autumn, you're brand new. You're what, a month into this?
Yeah,
What are
pretty
some
much.
ways that you're building your expertise?
I would think just being able to know the areas and to, learn about my clients, first off, what their needs are,
Sure.
and their wants, because we get so many people. And I think we as individuals are like this too. We have this expectation in our mind, but yet we only have the bare minimum budget. And so it's just trying to know our people. Another thing was, I've never, I'm working with my first buyers. I have a listing, but I'm working with my first buyers, and they ended up going FHA for their loan. Well, I mean, I hear a few things of, oh, this won't go FHA, because like chipping paint, things like that, but I really didn't know. And so, so just knowing that beforehand, I was able to educate my buyers on what we're kind of looking for that may not pass and go for an FHA loan. And so that really helped them see that, oh, this house is just a no-go because it's not even going to pass inspections, things like that. So, So just being proactive, even like yesterday, I went to show a house in Ledbetter. And I know across the Highway 60 that is mostly, in a flood zone, but I didn't know about this house. So I checked that and I was able to call my buyer and say, check with your insurance company. See, because it looked like the very backyard, just the very end of the backyard. And it's a corner is in a flood zone, then you gotta have flood insurance on
And it didn't used to be that way prior to COVID, because I sold one in Ledbetter. And the very back corner of an acre lot was in it. And they did require them to be flood insurance, but then they fought it and they dropped it after the closing. They got it removed.
So it doesn't have to be the structure, any
Part
piece
of
of the
it.
property
Mhm.
in the.
They're gonna require flood insurance, but I did have people successfully fight it after they closed because they had to have a house. They had to be able to get into it. Let me borrow that phone. Guys, see this page right now? Just when you meet with your buyer, and this is just extra information, we created a getting started page that asked all the questions on here. It even goes into what areas are you looking in? And this is an old one.
I was gonna say, that's an old one.
It's a very old one. But it gives you an idea. So like we just have names as they appear on your driver's license, additional name, current address, phone numbers, email addresses, names of children and ages, who is the primary contact. So what is prompting you to move? And so these are just some questions that you guys need to create your own getting started or your own information sheet. So you can, in a buyer consultation, ask all those important questions, okay? Okay, yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just saying for build your expertise, like I think that just being in the office around people, hearing conversations is huge. I don't know, stay after the team meeting and listen to, phone conversations, whatever you have to do just to, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
That's just me.
And
And
when I was.
shadow people, definitely.
When I was new in Louisiana, there was an average of 70 agents at our team meeting. The office had 220 agents. That same office has moved since I left and they have 450 agents. It's the largest office in the state of Louisiana. I used to go in just to hear what a realtor sounded like, to hear how they talked. I would sign up for floor time because it's not mandatory with Keller Williams. I would take as much floor time as I could just to eavesdrop, not to steal clients because I wouldn't do that anyway, but just to hear what they're saying on their end. I mean, that was invaluable just being in the atmosphere. And yeah, shadowing is huge, huge. Okay, 4 steps to building expertise. Let's look at these 4 steps that you can take to start building that. You can take, they are good starting points. I think this looks plain. These are, okay, so build your expertise, learn the market, learn your clientele, listen to individuals, and keep the headlines in context. Guys, just because the news is saying it doesn't make it so. It really doesn't. So if numbers are boring to you like they were me a little bit, just make yourself spend 15, 20 minutes a day looking up the data, looking up numbers. Go to open house, go to realtor tours. When Murray has their realtor tours, go to them. Or if your office has, go to them. So you can that's a time to hang out with seasoned agents to ask them questions. It's invaluable. Let me go to the next slide before I say what I want to say. I need this. Okay, somebody's in the chat, Elena. Learning to be the expert in an investment. Jade, purchase has been key in converting buyers in our market with the blue oval plant being built in Glendale. Thank you for that information. So did you hear what she said? Learning to be the expert in investment purchases has been key in converting buyers. If you are having a hard time converting your sellers or getting listings and getting buyers, it's because you don't have a value proposition. They don't value you. And that's session 4. I'm not going to get into that now. We'll do it in the second half, but you really do have to get to know that. So she made sure that she knows what she's talking about with this plant having come in, because all of a sudden she's getting a certain kind of buyer. Okay. Let me close this down because it won't let me turn the page. Okay, so learn the market. Did I skip a page? I don't think I did. Nope, we're good.
I have a
Okay,
question.
yes.
Statement, I guess.
Mhm.
So if You, have a buyer who contacts you and says, are you an expert in such and such? Maybe investments, and you're in the buy, but you had one opportunity to be involved in. that
Well,
kind of
what would
situation.
you say to them?
What I actually said was, no, I am not an expert, but I have been involved in that kind of a sale.
Yeah, you gotta be honest with them.
Well,
Yeah.
and then I would say, but I have
But-
resources from other agents I can pull in. And I can absolutely get questions answered. Because guys, there's things I'm not an expert in at all. And I still get asked questions and I say, gee, nobody's ever asked me that so far. Let me take down your question and let me check with my broker and let me get that answered for you. So, yeah, you are becoming the expert. Okay. It all starts with the language of real estate, also known as lore. Know how your market is moving and how to communicate this to the buyers and sellers. Ask yourself if there are signs of the market picking up or slowing down. It's also important to track the numbers and reports from your market center, which is that report right there. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. How do your local numbers and their changes compare to the national market? How are things flowing? Do you know Louisville has slowed down more than we have slowed down? And the only reason I know that is because of Linda Cecil. And I sit in ALC meetings and she's my coach every other week. She coaches me for 30 minutes. And so I can ask questions and she does capper masterminds. And so just know that rural Western Kentucky, we're holding our own. Now I will tell you other agents, not so much with Keller Williams, are saying, wow, things are really slow. To which I responded, I say, not for me, not for our team. Do they know how to lead generate? They don't. Nobody has taught them. Bold will teach you how to lead generate like nobody's business, or you won't graduate Bold because you have to do 100 contacts a week. You can do this. I did 100 in a day. You can do
Is
this.
that different people or just total?
Different people and some follow up, but mostly different people.
100 people.
You know what? They give you all sorts of information and all sorts of charts so you can figure out who you're going to reach out to.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But I mean, door knocking counts too. You can
Door
just go
knocking.
door
I
knock.
door knocked when I ran out of leads down in Louisiana and I did my first mold. I created a flyer and I just started knocking on doors. And one day I knocked on 50 doors. And I mean, I probably knocked on more than that, but I actually got 50 people home.
Was your, I went on top of that.
Go ahead.
Like, did your flyer say something about like Bold itself, or was it just like about that neighborhood?
I said that I was in a competition and
Well,
I
that's
had,
what you said to me.
I
So I
did.
was like,
I did. I said that to her at IMAC and she's a direct
results.
result. That's the word I'm looking for. Not relation, result from Bold. I was so behind. I was like 60 behind that day. And as Josh is strapping me on the table for my decompression for my lower back, I go, Josh, do you own a home? Josh, I would like to help you buy a home. I closed a home with Josh 3 months later. All because I asked that question. I got, I think 16 names that day and I was still way behind, but boy, did it put me back on the horse. I felt like I had been bucked off and it put me back on the horse. And she said to me, well, I might want to sell real estate, Amy. I said, oh, I need to talk to you.
And
here
the
she
rest
is.
is
And the rest
history.
is history. Open your mouth. If your mouth is open, your business is open. Always, always, always. Okay. It's important to be very focused on potential changes that seem to be more than seasonality or normal flow. So guys, a seasonality or a normal flow would be back to school. It always slows down the latter part of July and into August because people are taking their last vacation and they're getting their kids in school. We have a 3-week lull every single year. Just get to know that kind of stuff, okay? I put a house under contract on December 24th. November and December have never slowed down for me. But I was out in the middle of a snow blizzard. My son had just pulled in on December 23rd. I'm showing a home on December 23rd that buyer couldn't get his agent to go, well, I'm not going out in this weather. I'm a little girl from Wyoming. I know how to drive in this. And I went out and we put it under contract December 24th. Be hungry and be available. Okay. That's a side note.
Hey, I think Jade had a question. I'm just like, she came up in the chat box again and
Okay.
I can, and she can't, so.
Okay, language of real estate is lore. You know, the only way, Jade, I know how to explain language of real estate is, okay, I did the language of real estate. I did it with Joel Rico. Maps Coaching with Keller Williams, another entity of Keller Williams, has a language of sales. This is called language of real estate. I would highly recommend someday, maybe a year or two down the road, take language of sales. But Jade, I think what they're just saying about language of real estate is you being able to know the seller's market, the buyer's market. It's you being able to explain and know your area. I think that's all that lore means, is that you are the expert of real estate in your area and you can navigate that with grace and with style. I'll double check to make sure I'm telling you right, but I think that's all lore means, is language of real estate. Just knowing your markets, knowing your people, knowing neighborhoods, knowing your area. But I'll double check to make sure I'm telling you right. Okay.
That is what it is. Keller Williams has a glossary. Did you know? It just says lore is a monthly report that shows how your market center compares to the market across 8 key industry numbers.
Okay, so guys, hopefully you can see this. You can go to, I don't know if it's on command now, but under mykw.kw.com, mykw.kw.com is where your reports are found. I'll pull them up here in a minute. You can pull up your stats. Now, you newbies won't have stats yet.
So it's like, oh,
Yeah, you won't have stats yet. I can see my year over year. I can see how many I listed. Like we listed 8 in the month of July. I could look at the year before and the year before and the year before and see how many, thank you for pulling that up, how many I listed that month. Okay, so Jade, are you familiar at all? And maybe type your answer. Are you familiar with the lore reports? And I'm holding it up here so you guys can see them. You too can be the instructor. You can still be the instructor. Okay, I'm gonna see where we are time-wise.
It's not a lot.
Okay, we're good. We're good, because I talk really fast. Jade, let me know if I didn't answer your question or you have any further questions around that. Okay, so learn your clientele. Who are the buyers? Who are the sellers? Does the market benefit your clients? Does the market put your clients at risk? Interesting. So I've had several real estate agents in Keller Williams say it's not a good time to buy. When I went to Mega Camp 2 weeks ago in Austin, Gary Keller up on the first stage, the big stage, for the first 2-hour speaking engagement that he did with us, he said, I wish I had my notebook here. It's always a good time to buy real estate if you're buying the right property. That's a really powerful statement. So there's never a bad time to buy. It's depending on what your needs are. Joe and I just closed on a 4-plex. We bought our first multifamily July 31st. Did I pay a little bit more in this market? I did. But I just re-rented 1 unit for $200 more a month than what they were getting because they were so under rented. I was okay with overpaying. It is the market. It was not a bad time to buy. Okay, so there's never a bad time to buy if you're buying the right piece of real estate. Okay. As you are monitoring the numbers in your market, ask yourself who might benefit from the current and future trends and who might be at risk. I will tell you guys, investors, whether we're in a strong seller's market or not, don't seem to get that even investment properties are going for 10 or 15,000 more.
yeah.
So they're going to wait, just like some of ours. Rentals have sat, and they're going to wait until they get down to a certain price point. North 12th Street has shown how many times since we dropped to 10 grand, because it's an old 1907 building, and it's been a rental for 20 years. It's in pretty rough shape. So investors are probably your hardest ones to deal with, and see, these doctors are looking for an investment, so they're probably not happy that they're paying top dollar. They're lucky that they're not paying 10,000 more, and they don't seem to get that. Notice any trends in what people are saying to you. New objections might come into the picture, while others aren't as important as important suddenly. Recognizing patterns is a key to building your expertise. Guys, this is a sidebar. Objections aren't a no. Write this down. Objections aren't a no. An N-O, not K-N-O-W. Objections aren't a no. They're just, I need more information. Okay. The ebbs, flows, and shifts of the market can be great for different types of clients. A shift might be great for investors of those with cash looking to move into a neighborhood. Ben Garola has used me 12 times, and his daughter is back from Saudi Arabia or somewhere. She knows 7 languages. She is quite impressive. Her name is Lexi, and Lexi is looking for multifamily. There are 2 triplexes in Callaway County in Murray that are so overpriced, it's not even funny. So over, and I know because what I paid for a 4plex was 300,000 and they want 375. In the commercial world, cap rate matters. The cap rate is super, super low, about 2.5%, 3%. You need a cap rate of 8 to 12% for a sweet spot for an investor. These are so overpriced. So I want to show them those, and I want them to shoot $550,000 offer for both of them. Let's see if we get anywhere, because they've been sitting and they're not going to go for 375,000 a piece based on what the rents are. Okay. Know who could benefit from the changes you're noticing in the market numbers. Keep this in mind when it comes to the lead generation and lead follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. I'm terrible at following up sometimes. Sometimes I'm great, depending on what's going on, but follow-up is just as important as that initial contact. Okay, listen to individuals. Take a grassroots approach. Learn where your sphere gets information and then be present. That's where that getting started form really comes in handy. Go to where your people are. Talk with the people who are learning about the market, your clients and your potential clients, and chat with them. And more importantly, listen to them. Guys, become a good listener. The knowledge they provide could be very helpful for you as you make sense of the market and as importantly, what your clients think of the market. As you make sense of the market, it's just as important that you listen and understand what your clients think of the market. You guys, your clients will pop off with something that's just not true. And so I just listen and then I go, can I interject here? Can I give you my opinion of that? Yeah. Well, actually, what you just said isn't true. Can I tell you how I know that? So there's different ways you can refute when they pop off with something that's just not so. So the interest rates are what? Awful. Actually, they're not. When I bought, Dawn and I got married in 1982. We bought in 1986. We had 11.8% interest. That's awful. Terry Ladd had 18.9% when he first bought. That's awful. 7.25% isn't awful, because if you continue to rent, you're paying 100% commission. You'll never have any equity. You'll never have a property paid for. You won't have a tax write-off, what Dave Ramsey says is a crock. But my point being, there's ways that you can refute this in a positive manner. And we just paid our first mortgage on the 4plex, and I threw an extra $200 at the principal. I did what I tell people to do. Even if you just throw an extra $50 a month, you'll cut 4 years off the life of your loan, and you're going to save tens of thousands of dollars in interest. Now it's as if you had a 6% interest rate, or maybe 5.5%. If you throw an extra 100, you'll get it paid off in 7 years earlier. So guys, just give those kind of helpful hints and spin it in a positive way. Listening is important. Do you guys feel like you're good listeners? Ben tells me I'm not a good listener. I actually am, just not with him. If you listen, everybody has maybe two invisible signs around their neck. One of them is, what's in it for me? I think we all probably have that one. And the other one is, make me feel important. I learned this in language of sales. And so guys, if you always remember that, you're going to respond to meet those two hidden needs or hidden desires from every human being out there. Become a good listener. Everybody wants to be heard. Every single one of us. That's just an innate need that God put in all of us. A key point, be there, be present where your people are. You're guiding your clients in the journey, and that means you need to know where they are and how to best help them. In a conversation, oftentimes we're not listening to what they're saying. We're thinking about what we're going to say next. Guilty. Don't do that. Just be present, make it about them. Don't make it about you. In the beginning, we all try to sell ourselves because we think that that's what they need to pick us. Actually, being a good listener is going to sell yourself more than anything will. Because you're not going to be talking over the top of them. You know, so many clients have said to me, my other realtor just didn't listen. I would say, this is what I'm looking for. And they would say, oh, but look at this one. And I think that's what happened with your clients. You know, we even had one recently that Haley followed up with that said, you sent me in too high of a price point. What I told her to tell them is we had the inside scoop. It was Autumn's listing and we in the center. And we kind of knew maybe that they would come down because they were very motivated to sell. We didn't send them to try to get them to spend more money. We sent it to them because this fit their criteria. So people misunderstand all day long. Tell the story about the agent who, when he was starting in the business, wore a shirt that advertised his business. People would see his shirt and say to him, oh, you're in real estate. How's the market? He would always respond with, the market is great. Why do you ask? Explain to the participants, I'm supposed to explain to you guys that anyone they meet is a potential client, and responding to inquiries about their business with proactive language will get people talking and make the participants one step closer to earning new business.
I have an example of that.
Okay.
So, I was just teasing with a friend because we have Terra Court, which is 19 units, for sale, or Amy has it for sale. And I was just teasing, I'm like, hey, because he's got several rentals. I said, you should just buy that. That'd be good for you. It's close to your house. You should just buy that. So I was just teasing him. Well, he literally called me that following Monday. I talked to him on the weekend. He called me that Monday. He's like, hey, send me all this stuff. And it ended up not working out for him. But he's like, give me all the logistics. Give me, this is what I need. He told me exactly what he needed, which we had. So that was great. And so I was able to do that just because I was teasing him.
Yeah. You never know. You guys, if your mouth is open, your business is
I
open.
never would have dreamed he would have been really interested in that.
I love that. That's great.
Okay, guys, the last one of this chart is keep the headlines in context. As you learn your market and your clientele, beware that headlines can be persuasive. The purpose of a headline is to draw you into the story, and the story will typically delve a little deeper and give you a jumping off point for seeing if there are similar shifts, numbers, and trends in your own market. I can't remember who it was, but somebody in the media, somebody in the news said it's a terrible time to buy real estate. That couldn't be further from the truth. So just say no. Actually, that's not the case at all. He's got to find the right property. Great time to buy real estate. Where do you suspect that buyers and sellers get their information? Where do you think they get their information?
Other people. The internet.
Yeah.
So
Facebook.
social media
If it's
is
on
the
Facebook,
number
it's gotta
one
be
place. The news, the local paper, their friends. Yeah, workplace, it's all over the place. But I would say social media is probably the number one place. And oh, can there be misinformation out there? My goodness. Once you figure out where your clients get their information, read what they read and see if you can help them expand their understanding. And I just always ask for permission. Can I give you my spin on this? And I give you my opinion. My number one fear as a brand new realtor all those years ago was, what if somebody asked me how many deals I've closed and I have to do this? Nobody ever asked me for like 5 years. Tony MacArthur moved here from Ohio. She jumped in my car and she goes, how many transactions do you close a year? And I said, well, I aim to close 2 a month. So I aim. I answered her, but I skirted around it. And I'd only closed like 16 or 18. And I said, I aim to close 2 a month. And my goal is to close 3 a month. And so that would be like 48 or whatever. So, oh, she said, oh, that's really good. So did I really answer it? I didn't. But I told her what my goal was, to close 2 a month. That's 24 a year. But my ultimate goal is 3 a month, and we close 5 to 8 a month now. Always pay attention to your local MLS to stay on top of what's happening in your market. Your clients rely on you to put the market into context for them. Any thoughts before let's hit the ahas. Here we are. What are you thinking?
So I had like a similar situation to that, because that was one of my biggest fears when you knew that, getting into it, because I was only 18. And it was really nerve-wracking because I knew I didn't know enough people to be able to be sustainable, but I was like, I'm gonna try it anyway. So doing that, my biggest fear was always someone would ask me, how many have you closed, or how old are you? And then I'd be like, well, I'm a teenager. So I was always really worried about that. And so you had always said, only 90% of what you fear never comes to pass. And I was like, okay. But then my favorite client, still to this day, you can have favorites. And he finally asked me, he's like, how old are you? And I just kind of froze there for a minute. And I was like, old enough to sell your house. And that was like my answer.
Really good answer. That was a very good answer.
So Austin had something that was actually opposite. So he got a listing because she was looking for someone who hasn't been in like she wanted to help a newbie. Kind of. Like she wanted to help support someone that hadn't been a seasoned agent.
That's sweet.
That is so cool.
That was the Lee Street in Wickliffe. I'm like, you're in my territory. Get out of my territory. Dang, he's taken too. But
You should have told her that you were the movie.
well, she didn't get me. I don't know. But anyway,
Kind of like the Caro Southern Illinois. I know all about Wickliffe.
oh yeah.
Yes.
So yes, but isn't that funny that she was kind of rooting for the underdog kind of,
Instead of usually I want somebody who's really experienced. He's like, nope, I want to bless somebody who is.
Yeah, we need more of those people out there.
We do need more of those people out there. Okay, guys, how many of you do you have the KW app?
Yep.
Do you have Dot Loop on there, or actually DocuSign? DocuSign has an app, surely. Do you have, what's the other one? Command. KW Command is the red one. This is the one I share all day long. And so I give a quick tutorial. I tell them to go ahead and download the app. You have to put an email in. You're going to have to put a password in. And then I say, and I can't track you in any way, shape, or form. All I can do is know if you like something, if you heart something. I think it lets me know. I don't know. But if you hit that, I always tell them, if you hit that paper airplane that's in the corner there, it's going to find your location. And then you can click on a property. And what's really vital about this app is that it tells you it's available. See that MLS status? We got 2 statuses, listing status and MLS status. And it would say contract received.
That's why I like this so much.
Oh,
Zillow is not up to date.
Zillow is not up to date. 1/3 of what Zillow has even isn't available anymore.
Right.
It's crappy.
It also sends you an email when they register for the app. It'll look like it's a lead, but of course you've talked to that person, so you know. But that way, if they keep sending you houses that are like already sold because they're looking on Zillow, you can say, "Hey, did you? I shared my app with you, right? Didn't you download that?"
And say, do you have a few minutes? I would love, go ahead and set up your password, go ahead and set up your email. It'll only take a few seconds. And then I'm going to have you just run through and see, because and I always tell them it's like having me with you at all times. It's like having a realtor with you at all times, because they have information feeding from the MLS. Zillow doesn't feed from the MLS. Realtor.com does. Trulia doesn't. Most of them don't, which is why their information. And guys, just FYI, if we put contract received, Zillow won't pick it up as contingent until we mark it to pending. Do you know how many realtors never mark it to pending? That's why it's showing up as active. Most MLSs don't have 2 statuses. We do. I wish we didn't. I wish we just had 1. So that's why. But anyway, do you guys, who has these apps downloaded on your phone? You don't have them yet? Okay, here's what I need you to do. call Allie Harper or text Allie Harper. Do you know who Allie is? She's our tech ambassador. She's going to be your go-to point to help you get tech savvy and get your apps in place and start using them. Okay.
I was just talking about.
Okay, KW Connect. I guess that's this one. This is Command. We used to have a Kelly app and we don't use that anymore. And she was our AI for things and we don't, oh, mine says error. Now, I don't love that I have to sign in. Maybe I need to figure out how I can save all that.
It should be safe.
It makes you say,
Resets itself.
yeah,
every
it
once in a
says
while.
you periodically need to log in.
Which we can get all log me in.
I don't know nothing about
Autumn
that.
knows my password. Log me in, Autumn. So I use it more often than I do. I use my other app all day. I share it so much that out of 180,000 agents, Melinda Watson and I were like in the top 200 several years back for sharing our app. Out of 180,000 agents, we made like the top 500. That's how much I share my app. And I tell my clients, share it with your friends. Because guys, why would I want them to do that? Why would I want them to share my
You're
app?
the agent.
Because all my contact information is on there. And hopefully they'll see my name every time it opens up. Share your app, especially that one, all day long.
There you go, madam.
Thank you.
in.
Okay, Command app is a single platform for agents and can help them with everything from lead generation to database management. This is what Autumn wished I would use more because I don't use my tasks on a regular basis and I've got to get better at that. At the same time, the KW app developed to complement Command. So it is the iPhone or it is the app of, it is Command. It's what you're using,
So
except
Connect-
it's the phone version.
Connect is the second little tab up. So where it says KW Man Connect. Connect is where you find all of your trainings and things like that.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. I need to know that more too. It's okay. So the KW, Connect is streamlining the home buying and selling process and connecting agents and consumers like never before. KW is cutting edge in how we approach the real estate market. Further explain that the KW app is the consumer facing tool that connects consumers to the agent. It works in tandem with Command, which is designed for agent use. So your KW app is for the consumer, Command is for you. Got that? Okay, make sure you make that a priority, okay? The biggest value of this technology, which is available to KW agents and teams at no additional cost, is cutting down on expenses that can cripple profitability. If you are going to have to get another app or pay for another database, because Command is a CRM, customer relations management tool, you'd spend hundreds, $450 to $1,000, $1,200 a month. This is part of your $60. So that's huge. Okay, I'm not going to train on Command, clearly. Okay, get to know your KW app. I already talked about that. Any questions on your apps, guys? Autumn can answer one, I can answer the other.
Check your chat box.
Check my, I did. I just checked it. Nobody's in there. Thank you. Every now and then I hover in the wrong place and it pops up and I look at it. And then it won't go away for a little while. And then it won't let me click. Okay, so establish your business on social media. Your daily success system includes an activity to complete in your 10-5-1 social media engagement. So I think it's comment on 10 posts,
No,
Like 10.
like 10, comment on 5. And what's the one mean?
That says
Share.
send one direct message, but I thought it
Oh,
was a
send one. It's
post.
right up here. Duh.
I thought it was make a post, but I don't know.
Send one is, would that be private messaging?
Mhm.
Okay, that's what I figured.
But make a post and send a message. How about that? Do it all.
and or, yeah. Yeah, just do it all. Just do it all.
Get her done, right?
Get her
Get her done.
Haley, I'm still waiting for you to sign up for social media.
Yeah.
You'll be right in a minute.
So how are you guys doing? Is everybody in here doing the social media thing?
I did all that last night because I was like, oh,
Good
crap.
girl. So you guys had homework from Monday. We're going to talk at the very end and make sure that you're doing it and encourage you to do it. What are some posts you've previously made that have received a lot of engagement? Elena, do you track your engagement?
No, I don't. I haven't posted on my real page in very long.
Because
I've been doing it for 2006. Yeah.
Okay, just once a day, just get on there once a day. And then you have to check and see if anybody's made comments or anything and answer them.
And you can, I'm just gonna throw this out there, you can connect your social media to Canva and you can schedule out through it. Or there are, actually, I think the Meta business, you might know it better
Yeah.
than I, has where you can schedule it out. You
Yeah.
can schedule your post
And
out.
also link Instagram.
Right. We use a different platform because there's 6 social media platforms that we share to. Because there's 4 of us on the team and then we have like Amy has her page and then we have the Broadcom team page. And so because there's so many, I use a platform. But for just an individual, those are some things where you can post them out, schedule them and post them out. Because I mean, really, who has time to go and think of a post and remember to put it on there every single day? I mean, it's who are.
No, you can
Who are
put
you?
any personal
Well,
business.
I don't know about some.
You can't put personal property.
And if you weren't familiar with
Appliances aren't
Canva,
considered personal property.
I do a
Change
Canva.
it.
Wrote it. Oh, gosh. Okay, so you're who I've been waiting for. I missed
lenders are
one
making-
and I forgot what the cause was.
That's okay.
And I've been trying to get them since.
But you know what? We can meet someday.
Okay. I will buy you lunch for your time.
Hey, that's worth it right there.
You know what? Autumn has a sign in our office. What does it
No, I
say?
took it home.
Did you take it home? What does it
Yes.
say?
People who like to eat are my kind of people.
When I joined a church, that's the first thing I like, do you like to cook? You know what I mean?
How many potlucks do you have? Sorry.
Okay,
Sorry,
I was-
people on Zoom. We're
I
getting
was
off
gonna
topic.
show you guys, one of our Facebook pages. We have 2, and I don't know, do you think we still need 2? Probably so. We have different audiences, different people.
Yeah.
But
Would you
here's,
like for me to bring it up?
here's one. This is home for sale in Paducah / Western Kentucky. And these were created before Autumn ever came on. I think one of my kids helped me actually create them. Or did you? I think it was before you. And so Autumn does a great job with this. I can't see where I'm at. I need to scroll up this way. Get down.
Is that a
So
group
he
or an
has-
actual page?
What?
Is that a group or an actual page?
An actual page.
An actual
Okay.
page. That's an actual page.
Gotcha. Sorry
And
about
so
that.
this is under contract. And then she's gonna have new
Price-
price,
yeah.
price reduction.
A new
But then
listing.
she's gonna also put on
Keep
here.
going. Sorry, it's been a while. There you go.
Okay, she's gonna put something on here that adds value, and sometimes I jump on just to see what you put on here. If you're not excited to wake up in the home you're in every day, you're living in the wrong home. I like that a lot, actually. And so of course, then she has,
I have buyer tips and seller tips on there.
yeah, listing tips.
National Dog Day.
National Dog Day, this was one of her posts.
Look, so she doesn't probably realize this, but I've got a Max, I've got a Elsa, and I've got a Lucy on there. So the 3 dogs that are diagonal are the 3 dogs of the people that are on the team.
That's too funny. That's too funny. And I used to have dogs and I don't anymore because we lost them.
Never noticed that.
Okay. Let's move on. Okay, other enrichments, study your market center, report, preview homes, take an MLS course, visit and hold open houses, study the lore, language of real estate, read the real estate millionaire real estate agent, I mean. And then what are some other things that you guys can be doing to grow yourself?
Just being here. I mean, I know it's like
Yeah,
taking
no,
a
that's
course,
serious.
But like,
Mhm.
and I know like old and all the things that Keller Williams offers, script practice. I'm like,
and the trainings that are on the education calendar.
Yeah, we put in the corner of the education calendar, April picks them. I used to, and she does great job. And so all you gotta do is just type in what we told you where to find them and go do them. And you know what? Your MLS has videos. It has little tutorial trainings to get good at that. In Mayfield, once a year, a guy, I don't remember his name, comes from somewhere, Owensboro or Gary, good job. And I go almost every single year for like 10 years because I always learn more about this tool that I need to get better at because I'm not utilizing everything it'll do for me. Yeah, command on Connect, command your business, interview successful agents in your market center. One thing I haven't honed in on, so I'm chairing the committee for the career development, and we do the training calendar for you guys. Kimberly did a really good job at getting panels together. Because sometimes it's good for you guys just to pick the brains of seasoned agents. So I might have to, after Ignite is done, before Bold starts, have a panel, a couple of different panels, because just to be able to ask them questions and hear what not to do, because we've learned what not to do and what to do, and where does our success come from, and yada, yada.
So for the new people, if you need help with command, you can go to YouTube, and Marty Miller is the name. And so you can, like, he's got what,
It's a
66 days or something like that. And I mean, so say you just want to learn about smart plans, you can find this one on smart plans.
And he has like a YouTube video on how to, and I know you all probably know this, I didn't, but like how to get all your contacts in your phone transferred over, like without having to individually type them all in into your database. That was helpful for me.
I played around and figured it out and I felt so big.
I don't know, they told you to download an app and all this crazy stuff, but I don't know.
Okay, question. This is everything we've covered so far. What do you have a question about, or can I hear any ahas or comments?
Check your chat.
What?
Check your chat.
I did.
Okay.
Yep, nobody's on there.
I would say that I definitely need to be better about knowing the current market because I'm really bad about just flipping through the hot sheet and just looking at what's been reduced or what's new, and then I'm done. And I don't pay attention to how many days things are staying on market. And
Yeah, and the average price point is kind of important. So we had a client, ended up being very hard to work with, moved to Alabama. We sold his house on Fantasy Lane. And the wife kept saying to me, well, in California, I finally said to her like twice, this isn't California. This is
different
Western
country.
Kentucky.
yeah.
And I said to her, Claudia, lay it down. You're going to spend $500,000 or $1 million if you go to California. Don't expect the same results from Western Kentucky. You're not in California. I want to say, Dorothy, you're not in Kansas City anymore. So you really have to learn how to gracefully refute a lot of things. Okay. How has your thinking changed? What ideas or mindsets were new? What do you feel differently about? What was meaningful to you today? How will your behaviors be different going forward? What actions will you take? What tools, models, or systems will you use? How will they make you accountable? Newer agents. I'm such a type A personality. Not over the top, but I am so type A. There's some that are worse than me. I want to know everything right now. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You have to embrace being uncomfortable. You have to embrace being out of your comfort zone a lot. You have to be a fringe dweller. I'm such a fringe dweller. I'm just going to be figuring out how to do this. Where there's a will, there's a way. And so just become a good question asker. Leave Dora alone this week. She texted me yesterday because I just put a house under contract with her. But right the day before she left, she let me preview. She says, get it under contract, Amy, so I don't have to deal with it while I'm on vacation. Then she texted me that a tree had been removed. And I said, I thought you weren't supposed to be working. And okay, somebody's on the chat. I just wanted to say that this is great info and a good reminder of getting us back to basics. It really is the simple things being done consistently that create great success. And I somehow didn't realize I should download a Keller Williams app beyond command. Oh, Jade, get that downloaded and share away. That's so good. I love it when people get something out of this.
So I want to just tell y'all something that I did last night, in that don't be afraid to ask friends or colleagues for help on getting the word out about a property. So my son works in ag. We have a house and farm, and 20 acres is income producing, right?
Mhm.
And it's in Berkeley. I don't know if y'all know where Berkeley is, but it's Arlington, Bardwell, Columbus area. So it's not a metropolitan area. Anyways, my son's in ag, and I said, hey, I just shared something to my personal page, jump on there and share it. He said, well, Mom, no one in Ballard County is gonna buy a farm with a house down there. And I said, no, but they may have a friend in the, because it's in the neighboring county for us. I'm like, no, but they may have a friend or know someone who might. So
We never know.
so he did. I was so proud. It was like proud mom moment that he jumped on there and shared. But yeah, I was like, hey, jump on there and share. You know, anything with farm. I'm always asking him to like spread the word.
That's good. Yeah, word of mouth, guys, is still the best source of advertisement. Each day in Ignite, you grow in how you think, feel, act, and implement what you've learned. From learning and ahas, you move forward. You move toward achievement of your big life. And that's what we're here for, right? To achieve our big goals. Right? Do you guys have a participants guide?
They're all on our website.
Okay. So do me a favor, on a piece of paper, write how you've grown in each of these areas. Just put one statement. How has your thinking changed? What ideas or mindsets are new? So I'm going to be quiet and I want you to answer that first one. And then I want you to answer, what do you feel differently about? What was meaningful to you today in this session? How will your behaviors be different going forward? What actions will you take? And then what tools, models, or systems will you use? How will they make you accountable? I'm going to make a suggestion for you newer agents and more seasoned agents. From your very first closing forward, start a customer care program. And just call it your customer care. It's a system, it's a program. Even if you've only closed 1, 2, or 3, we do every other month. A lot of people do monthly mailings. I used to do monthly mailings until I had 150 of them. And I'm not going to spend that kind of money anymore. But Autumn has them on smart plans, or what else are they called? Campaigns. And so every month they're hearing from us and we're asking for referrals. We want them to not forget us. In one of my customer care, because when you do it in an envelope, if it's flat, you can put something in there that's lightweight. If it goes through the scanner, it's going to be the regular postage. If it doesn't, it's going to be $2.50 or more per one. So we put in flower seeds. We ordered them and they were forget-me-nots. And that was a play on words that they could plant in the springtime. That was a spring mailing.
We did the lemonade.
We
in
did the
July.
lemonade in July. So we try to think outside the box. I've done fall leaves. You know, you go to Hobby Lobby and you get the big bag, and I sprinkle fall leaves in every single envelope. But I started off with one, and now we have like 150 that we send. We keep in touch. It's on our customer care program, and so we do customer appreciation events. We do a free pie giveaway in the fall for every customer that is currently using us or has closed with us in the past. And so that's a really big deal. And it's so easy. If you start now, Elena, you have quite a few now. If you start with the 25 or however many you have and start implementing it, it's going to be so manageable that you can build off of it quite easily. Customer care is a really important thing.
for May, we did Cinco de Mayo, and we had someone from her church does like authentic Mexican. And so we had that, and we had hats, and we had decor, and that was really fun. I mean, it was just like getting to talk to people, and there's a lot of people I see their name, but I've never met them. And so being able to put a face with the name and seeing them and, be able to ask them like, oh, are you enjoying your new home? Things like that.
And that mailing said whether you want tacos or whether you need tacos or you need a house, we can help you with both. And then we didn't make that up. We copied that from somewhere else that we had seen. And so we had about 30 people, I think, come in. And the gal from my church is from Mexico. So it was really good food. And so, yeah, just those simple, basic things. Autumn, we have it in as part of our closing procedures. Autumn always gets ready a 1-year anniversary card. You've been in your house 1 year, and she does it as part of the closing procedures. And then she sets it aside with the date or the month to mail it out, the date. And so she mails it a week or two before their actual 1-year anniversary. That's just another system that you can do that's going to build value. And this is going to take us quite nicely into our next section.
Start with birthday cards.
Yeah.
I mean, start with something small.
Okay. You guys refresh my memory because I haven't taught this since last year. Every time you meet here, I think you have a success system. So you've only had 2 sessions on Monday. This is the second day. Did you look at your homework? Is this some of the homework that you were supposed to do?
You're supposed to have 10 conversations, 10 contacts added, handwritten notes, and then the 10-5-1.
Okay. Who did it?
I did the social media, and
Autumn's a loser.
I had a couple of real estate conversations, obviously.
Okay, guys, did you write down if your mouth is open, your business is open?
I did. I got 8 of it. 10
Good.
conversation.
You guys do some activity, even if you can only get 5 in. Something is better than nothing, and you'll feel really good about it. So this is an example, a really recent example. So I have stepped into managing 45 units. Just shoot me now. I now own 4 of them. 19 of them are for sale. And then I guess I did a decent job. So they asked me if I would please manage 22 more. There's a method in my madness. If they sell those other 22, I want to be the listing agent. I know that Scott's going to hire me to sell his mother's house. I sold his house for over $500,000 versus in the same neighborhood, Bent Creek. And so I'm looking down the road for future business, and it's forced me to resign some things so I can make time to do this. And I do it in the evening. I don't typically do it during the day. But last night I was there getting 2 more apartments signed, and then I got a dentist just moved here from Louisville, and one just moved into assisted living. So I did a final walkthrough, got home to the tiny house at 8:30 last night. All of that to say that if you open your mouth, you're going to get business. One of those called me and said, I was told to call you because you might have an apartment for rent. To which I just started asking questions. I was driving and I said, well, why are you moving? Well, we're getting ready to build a house. And I said, so you have a house to sell? She said, I do. What's my next question?
Yeah, a realtor.
Do you have a realtor? I just want to be interviewed. Austin and I went and met with them. It's going to list for $512,500. I have business because my mouth is open. Just always, whether you have this on or not, you're in the mode. You have to be thinking real estate, whether it's daytime or evening. Be thinking real estate, okay? Okay, guys, keep doing these. I'm supposed to warn you about the do not call list and consumer's guide. I really struggle with this, to be quite honest with you, because I'm on the do not call registry.
No, you're not. Your phone number is public, and so therefore you're not.
So okay.
Because
But-
you advertise your phone number on.
Okay,
your
but I
signs
went
and
on that
Facebook.
form multiple
Doesn't
times
matter.
and fill it out. Is that why I'm getting calls?
That's what they said yesterday. If your number is anywhere.
Really? Anywhere public? Okay, so then this makes it easier on us. Because guys, the first fine is like $15,000. Who's policing this? These kind of things make me really angry, by the way. I'm the late agent and I'm the angry agent. Okay,
She's the one that's not afraid to call, but not afraid to call you out if you called her.
that's true. That is so true. I'm on the do not call registry and now Autumn tells me I'm not. Okay, so guys, repeat this. This is a positive affirmation in bold. You will do a lot of positive affirmations. You're going to think this is ridiculous. You're going to think this isn't going to help me. Actually, it gets back subliminally. You have to speak audibly for it to enter into the back of your brain. And I don't know if it's the rear cortex. I'm not sure what that's called, but I know it's true. So let's read this together. I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me. And so, well, Lainey, you know this from Bold. You have to do a lot of this, and you do. You really think this is dumb. This is not going to help me. In my very first Bold in 2000, I signed up September 10th, 2010. In the next spring, Bold had just been introduced. But we were like we drove from New Orleans to Baton Rouge. I live in New Orleans, from St. Charles Parish to Baton Rouge, about an hour away. And I'm listening to these affirmations on a CD all the way there. I list homes every day. I make 10 phone calls every day. And it's tough. My son, who played the violin, would listen to him with me and he'd make fun of me. And then he would always say, Mom, this is Beethoven's 5th or 9th symphony or whatever. I didn't know the music in the background, but you get the idea what the music was in the background. And about 2 or 3 weeks into it, I'm laying in bed, my eyes popped open like they did at 5:30 this morning. I shouldn't have been late. And the first thing that came into my mind was, I list homes every day, or I lead generate every day. And I laid there and looked up at my ceiling and thought, this is working. Do it. So this is a positive affirmation. You should have them in your students' manuals. And so I want you really to kind of take them serious. Okay, so we're supposed to make time to role play for a little while. I want you guys, we don't have that much time left, but I do want, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you. Would you two team up? And would you two team up? And would you two team up? Whether you want to or not, right? And so I want you to,
Love each other,
you
right?
do, you love each other.
What are we role playing?
You know what? That's what I'm looking for.
I was gonna say, because we skipped our role playing the other day.
Did you? Well, I want you to do it just for a couple of minutes. Lead generation conversations. That's what we're supposed to role play. Yeah, so pretend like you made a phone call, and I will let you go to other rooms, but you only got about 5 minutes to do this. I just want each of you to take one turn in doing it. So if you can be kind of quiet, or you guys want to go somewhere else, just do this for me for a few minutes. Okay?
She's left.
She went to the restroom.
She left. She's not doing it. So
And use the restroom.
Yeah. Now, these 45 minutes, this is supposed to be a 4-hour class, and we're doing it in 2 hours. This is why they have 45 minutes. Mhm.
It's
Oh,
weird
it
that
goes
I'm
straight into
the
it.
Most seasoned of the people taking this. That's really weird. I don't like it.
What don't you like?
Hey, but I'm kind of right there with, I mean, like,
I know, so you have 5 years experience,
4.
so.
Don't be add no more.
Do we have nobody?
So
that-
hey, I put the listing docs in there.
Thank you. You saved my name. I thought, oh dear God, I remembered everything but that.
You know, we don't have an additional page, additional features for Big Bear.
I know.
Okay,
Did you see the email she sent this morning?
no,
I've redeemed myself,
good.
and I apologized in there that I did not meet the Friday deadline, but I'm at the mercy of my drone photographer. I'm at the mercy of the floor plan getting developed, and so I apologize, and I just apologize. But so you'll have to read our email from last night.
okay.
And
Well,
I-
remember, I'm checking out here.
Oh,
pretty soon.
you're checking out. So don't read it till you get back, but it was good. It was very good. Okay, you guys practice. Let me run to the restroom.
Can I ask you one really quick question? Is this what I do that on?
No,
Counter-
that's a counter offer.
That was the
No,
only addendum I
just a
found.
sales contract addendum. Don't we have a sales contract addendum? Go to, you can get into my dot loop. Can you get into my dot loop? Because
I
it's in
was,
there.
I was just in your dot loop. I can get it and send it to you.
I've got it.
Are we between sessions or something? Yeah, okay, we have people trying to get in for Zoom.
Do we?
Hold on, I need to get back here to fit this up for you. Hang on a second.
So I was gonna do mine, okay, I wanna role play my own thing.
We just, yeah.
So anyways,
Is it that?
did you say addendum?
I'm gonna find it for you.
Addendum?
Well,
Yeah,
she'll
it's
find it and we
it's
do
a
this.
sales contract addendum.
Yeah, I
And
found
it's,
it.
did you find it? It's in my personal docs
Will
in
you
dot
pull
loop.
that up?
I created it because we didn't have one. I created it all the way down in Louisiana.
Oh, is it this one?
Addendum for purchase.
Let me just put it in your file.
Oh, well, that would be awesome.
I mean, hello.
You're awesome.
So mine was, Monday when I went to go show houses, we went to go look. at
I
them.
mean, thank you. I didn't want to disrupt.
Oh, you're fine. We're in between.
And so.
Sorry, helping with an IT issue real quick.
Okay. Okay.
The phone number, so I called and no one answered. So then after.
Are we taking a break?
Yeah, we are on a little break right
We're
now.
role playing.
Okay. What time do we come?
I take that back. We're role playing right now.
Oh, got it. Okay.
10 o'clock sharp, 7 minutes.
Alrighty.
Anyways, so now it's me. So thank you so much. So anyways, after we got done showing houses and things, and he's like, "Yeah, it's cool for me to see this."
The first time I owned it.
I said, "Oh." I drove by your house and I was with some buyers. We drove by your house and saw it was for sale. I'm not sure if you could give me some little bit of information about it. My buyers are really kind of looking in that area. And, so just would love to know, some details about it. Of course, he told me details and everything. He just wouldn't hear about it, what we should, that price for what it seems like he's done and helping us on it. It's got above ground floor, got a hot tub that's staying.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so, I said, this seems like a great house. However, it's a little bit above the price range where my buyers are wanting to be, but I'm on a team and I will check with my other agents on my team and see maybe if this might fit one of the criteria for their buyers. And I said, how long have you had it listed? He said, well, almost a week. And I said, okay. I said, I wish you the best of luck and hopefully, you'll be able to find a buyer. And like I said, I'll share it with my agents. But however, if you ever decide to this is a realtor, I would love that chance to come for an interview.
Yeah.
And to come see your house. And it just turned out really good.
Awesome.
So that there's my role playing because that was what I said to him. So,
Yeah. Well, whenever I had to call for sub owner because me and Lucinda, the one that I just saw, Lucinda, she wanted to see it. And so I called and I said, will you allow me to show your house, whatever? He said, yeah, and I'll pay your 3% for the buying side. And he actually hit one of his lifetime friends as a realtor, Shay McGuire or something. And so I knew that wasn't gonna be, but just being able to have that relationship and be like, because that's what I told you, I'll share your house with my other agents because he didn't want to have to list it with whoever.
So it's a 3-2. So that,
Oh.
you know where Paducah First Baptist is,
Mhm.
like you can see it from the kind of. From the
Oh,
backyard. It's
okay.
the backyard. It doesn't have a garage, but he said, yeah, it probably just needs to come on down.
Yeah.
He did say his reason he's selling his stuff in health issues, and so he said, maybe the house isn't
Right.
staged ready, and I was like, that's okay.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
so,
Even if I was you, I might even pay him a visit with the staging tips.
I don't know, yeah. I've got it. Well, you know what? I have a reminder on my phone to call him Tuesday
So
and just check on him, and maybe I'll.
awesome. Well, that's
I see
so
if I
I'm
can
proud of
stop
you.
by with impacted.
Just giving information. Yeah.
Yeah.
My bottom bar is not coming up.
I told him we would be back on at 10 o'clock sharp.
Okay,
I gotta go potty.
Hey, Amy,
yes.
you're gonna tell me if I'm gonna ask you questions.
Yes,
So
okay.
when you called, do I just put C, because it says the following addendums are attached. Do I just put,
I don't usually refer to it because it's personal property.
okay, that's fine. I just didn't
Because the
know.
lender, just tell them, that personal property isn't real estate.
Okay,
We want to get this in writing for you.
so I don't have to put anything on the actual purchase
I
contract.
don't put anything
Okay.
on there because it's personal property and
Okay.
I don't want a lender to say, well, send me that addendum.
Right. How long
Because
do you need me to give you guys?
I would say 6 o'clock tonight or something.
Okay.
I think we can get it done sooner, but just in case. I know I've got to go to Fulton to look at a listing, possible listing. This is not bringing up my bottom bar. Hey, Ben? My bottom bar is not coming up. I don't know why. I was gonna text welcoming the new newbies and oh, it's up there. Where did it? Okay, can I move it down?
What's that?
This bar.
No.
It was down below. It was down here. I may be late sometimes. Okay, let me just say welcome.
What? Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, but I'm leaving.
You're leaving right now?
Hey, guys, I need everybody to come back in.
Yeah.
Great. Oh, thank you.
Love it.
Did everybody get a bathroom break?
I can hold it a little longer. I'm good.
Well, Paula, if you will do me a favor.
Hey,
and
Ben.
not-
Are you?
Do we have a sign in for this? Are we having people sign in?
Picture of everybody.
Huh?
I got a real good picture of everybody, including.
Okay.
Can I just see it?
Huh?
Cause I know I was looking full.
These things.
Working on that?
Man, don't do that one, please.
What?
You haven't seen it?
Why not? Everybody looks really good. See, look at Haley right there, see?
Oh, Ben.
Look at Paula and Bridget. Bridget, Paula really good, see?
Yeah,
When he wakes up, not seeing
Okay, well.
Okay, guys, everybody went to the bathroom.
Sean's doing the safety dance.
Yep, I did.
Where you going?
Bye. Be careful.
I'll be.
Take care.
So I lived in Wickliffe for 30 years before I got, 5 years.
Okay, guys, come in.
So it's your turn.
He's not here.
Familiar with this.
Huh?
He's not here.
Where is he?
I don't.
Bridget, how long you been licensed?
I have been licensed since beginning of July.
So you're just as new as, this is Sean?
Almost. He came
John,
right
what's
behind
his
me.
name?
Him and
Sean.
Sean.
Is there just Corbin's name that I can understand? It's on the MLS. I don't know who he is.
No, it should have both of their names. on
Well, I
the
don't-
list.
It's not on the MLS yet, is
Oh,
why I'm
Corbin-
asking.
Corbin
And then, of
and
course,
Whitney.
I had a little bit.
Corbin and Whitney.
And then they messed mine up.
But whatever you put on the
Last
offer,
name,
didn't you put both of their
information.
names? Your
Even though I
sellers?
sent everything exactly how I was.
For the
told.
offer? Oh, you don't have to. Never mind. You just have to, the old contract had buyer sellers.
All right.
What, how do you spell their last name?
Okay, so we're one shy,
Bottom left.
bottom left. She's going on vacation for the next 3 days. Sorry, sad for me. Okay, so guys, let's start this off. This next session is my passion, okay? I like the last session, but I love this session, and I'm gonna show you a couple of things that I have. Do you have any questions before we get started? This one's gonna be about defining your value. So as you have questions, write them down, and then when it comes time, or stop me, ask them. Let me be the poster child that if I can do this, y'all can do this. But Elena worked for me as my personal assistant a couple of days a week, and she knows that sometimes I just fly by the seat of my pants. I'm doing way too much. My plate is way too full, which is why I looked at the clock wrong, I guess, this morning. I don't know. I have no excuses. My eyes popped open at 5:30 a.m. And here I am, 7 minutes later, 6. But let me be encouragement that truly, if I can do this, anybody can do this. You really can. It takes all types. It takes all personalities. Probably the biggest thing I have going for me is just natural confidence And I don't know why, other than I'm a really high I. Have you guys all taken your DISC, the DISC? So on the I, I'm a 99. On the D, I'm an 84 or 87, whichever year I took it. On the C, I was a 17 and it dropped down to 7. And on the S, I'm a 47. That I serves me well because we're influencers. We're squirrel. We're people. People matter the most to me, and probably too much on some levels. God might not say they can never matter too much, but they do. And so I tend to go way overboard with the customer service because of my high I run a team. I've been a productivity coach for 5 years, been in real estate for 13. I sit on boards and nonprofits. I go to Africa, been there 4 times, been to Nicaragua 4 times. I really believe in getting the message that Jesus saves out. And I don't like to fly, but no fear is going to master this little girl. So I go and I don't take a pill to drug me up. I don't sleep a lick in that 32 hours it takes to get there. Total driving time and flying time is 23 hours. It's awful, but I go because I feel compelled to go. So whatever your strengths are, let that propel you into your success. Okay. My high I is a very big negative. My team will tell you, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. I show up late every now and again. I come in on 2 wheels every now and again. But let me just encourage you that if I can do this, anybody, I'm serious. Anybody can do this. When I mess up at a showing or I can't get a door unlocked and I have to have my client do it for me, I say, you too can be a realtor. That's my standing for everything. You too can be a realtor. I mean it.
That was the first phrase I learned. When I started.
Well, and you do things a little bit like I do, so you probably say it more often. Okay, so let's get started on this next session. I'm supposed to go through everything and I'm not gonna. I think let me see what words I'm missing. We're supposed to recap session 1, session 2, session 3. Okay, but we'll also discuss how to find your own value proposition. So guys, when we use the word value proposition or the phrase, the 2 words value proposition, what comes to your mind?
Value.
Yeah, what value do you bring to the table? Why would somebody need you to be their realtor? Value propositions. I think that's where realtors really mess up, is they don't get that they need to have one. They don't, and my confidence, believe it or not, is part of my value proposition. And I know because other agents, Pat Cherry, well, it's going to be okay because Amy says it's going to appraise. It did appraise, but God just let that young appraiser call me and I got to coach him and it appraised here in Murray. Oh my gosh, we're there in Murray. We're in Benton. Okay, so these are the things that we're going to go over in this session. What matters to buyers and sellers, what defines your value proposition, and then of course we'll recap some things. Yeah, let me go back because I forget to move my bar down. Have you thought about what your value proposition is? As you new agents, that's a little bit complex, I think. It's a little bit mind-boggling. I got to move this over.
Yeah, I've been trying to think on it.
Okay, so you know what I feel like to do for you guys right now, and I'm gonna have to try to replay it for my. In 2018, I got asked, several of us, well, I didn't get hand selected, I just jumped in to do a TV show, and it was called Keller Williams Unplugged. Jeff Pierce with Pierce Production produced it for us, and I'm wondering if I have that video on here. I do. So it was during that time that my value proposition became very clear to me. I've been an agent since 2010 because I started focusing on the listing side. So this is my commercial. We all had to have a 30-second commercial for that TV show. And guys, I'll replay it for you guys who are on the screen. I'll replay it because it's
As a listing specialist in Western Kentucky, Amy Brock's hard work and dedication are evident when you hire Amy to sell your home. You can expect her to draw floor plans of your home
I do them all
hand
by
and
hand.
see them turned
Not
into a
anymore.
master marketing piece. Your home will have its own professional featured listing booklet, another tool Amy uses to capture buyers. Her aggressive marketing strategy? Well, it's aggressive. Call Amy Brock to schedule your listing consultation.
I'm Amy Brock and I am aggressive.
Love that part.
To say, okay, so guys, let me know if you, okay, somebody's chatting. I crack up when I hear that because, okay, when we got to the part, we had a deadline, and Jeff Pierce will tell you the 5 agents he worked with was like herding cats. He said, he thought we would just film 5 episodes out of the 13 at a time. We barely got through 1. It was awful. And as extroverted as I am, I learned I don't like to be in front of a TV camera. I hate it. And so I learned a lot about myself during that season of Keller Williams Unplugged. But let me see what this says. Value proposition, why I'm worth it to be your agent. Haha, I love that, Amy. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys this one more time so you can see it from beginning to end. And hopefully you guys can see this.
As a listing specialist in Western Kentucky, Amy Brock's hard work and dedication are evident when you hire Amy to sell your home. You can expect her to draw floor plans of your home by hand and see them turned into a master marketing piece. Your home will have its own professional featured listing booklet, another tool Amy uses to capture buyers. Her aggressive marketing strategy? Well, it's aggressive. Call Amy Brock to schedule your listing consultation.
I'm Amy Brock, and I am aggressive. Call me today.
Who won't remember that?
You guys, I tell people all the time, I'm aggressive in a nice way. We need to be nice because there's people that are bullies. The reason I bring that up is because there's some of my value proposition in that commercial. And I had no idea how much of a listing specialist I would become. I just remember thinking, Jeff gave us a deadline, midnight one night, and I went to bed at 11 o'clock, and I laid in bed, thought, oh crap, I never did my commercial script. He gave us a final deadline because Melinda, Leslie Heath, Crystal Jeter, Amy Brock, and Jeff's wife, Charlotte Pierce, we were the 5 agents in that TV show. So I jumped out of bed, and Joe's like, where are you going? It's like, I gotta write a script. Well, when I got to my aggressive marketing strategy, I was out of time. I had written down everything or typed up everything I thought I would say in this commercial, and it was a minute and a half. And so I just went at almost 11:45 at night, Well, it's aggressive. I had no idea how much that would become part of my marketing or my value proposition. Had no idea. I just knew I had to meet a deadline. Jeff says to me the next day, you sent this over at 11:59. It's like, I know, right? I barely made, like I was here a little bit late, right? And so all of that to say, this is my passion, your value proposition. This is probably what drove me into productivity coaching, is I can come alongside and help you build your toolbox. Because if you don't have tools in your toolbox, you're not going to come across as having any value proposition. This is our listing packet. Whoops. That's okay. You can stand there as long as I don't step on them. It's okay. This is our listing packet. We are going to have a folder made with our door because in Keller Williams and my Brock Home team, we have this cute little red door. And I don't know where the red door is, but it's on a lot of our marketing. I even have red door earrings that I had somebody make for me. And so that has kind of become, an icon, whatever you want. A branding. Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for, branding. So this is our listing packet. I really like these because they're magnets. If I just give you a business card, you're likely to throw it away. But if I put it on something you can use and magnetize, you're very likely to put it on your refrigerator. These aren't that expensive. So we put one of those in every buyer guide and every listing packet. But this is my listing packet, and you can look at it later on. There's a floor plan that I no longer draw on my Matterport. We have the Matterport camera does it. My last drawing was a big $850,000 lake house in Western Shores, and it took me 10 hours to draw just the upstairs. Then I went back the next day and spent 6 more hours. Everything was on an angle. I taught myself how to do this years ago. I just knew I needed something to make me stand out when I moved to Paducah, Kentucky, and I knew not one person. So guys, I think I'm sitting number 13 or 14 out of all 650 agents. I figured out how to do this, but I am a very, 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 sometimes too hard worker, a little bit of a workaholic, a little bit. Okay, so let's move on into what we need to cover. Okay, we will start our session today by learning about value proposition and discussing the benefits of defining your value proposition. Let's begin by understanding what a value proposition is. Knowing what skills and strengths you bring to the table will give you confidence in running and growing your business. Write the word confidence down. You guys, it's your job to become confident. Confidence will get you more clients than you know what to do with. I can't stress that enough. If I have one innate thing going for me, and I just said it, is that I'm a very confident person. Okay, so that translates into a little bit of a BSer. Don't BS your way through real estate. You can't BS God and you can't BS in real estate. Don't try. If you don't know an answer, just say, I don't know that answer. Nobody's asked me that yet. They don't have to know you started this a month ago. Nobody's ever asked me that yet. For the last 30 days, you don't throw that in, right? Okay, so knowing what skills and strengths you bring to the table will give you confidence in running and growing your business. Therefore, it's important to know how to express your value when interacting with your clients and potential clients. So let's talk more about what your value proposition is. And this is on the board. Your value proposition is a unique, memorable, and persuasive statement that expresses the true value of working with you. Okay, here's my value proposition. I came up with this way back in Louisiana. Don't copy it. And I've had to tell people not to copy it because I send them over something and then I see it on their material. It's like, no, that's my value proposition. I will represent you with honesty, integrity, hard work, and determination, always working with your best interests in mind. I had no idea that that was going to become our value statement, or actually it's our mission statement. Your value statement brings clarity to what your mission is. I'm on mission to be honest, to always operate with integrity, to always work hard, to always be determined. And where there's a will, there's a way is one of my favorite sayings, because I truly believe it. We can find it. I hate the saying there's more than one way to skin a cat. Who skins cats? That's awful. But there is more than one way to get things done. So that's my value proposition. It's in my buyer guide and it's in our pre-listing packet. And this is our pre-listing. Okay, so I want you guys to be thinking because in a minute I'm gonna hit you guys are gonna work on your value proposition. Okay. It addresses the specific and special needs of the buyers and sellers in your market. It states what you will do for your client to earn your commission. Okay, so that's important. If somebody's trying to talk you down and saying, will you take 2% instead of 3%, or I'm only going to give you 4%, they're telling me right now you don't value. And so I have said to people, clearly you don't value what I bring to the table. Can we get through this listing presentation? And then I'm going to address that at the end. Sometimes you get what you pay for. If I'm willing, and this is a script, if I'm willing to cut my commission, how hard do you think I'm going to fight for top dollar for you? Not very. Right? You get what you pay for oftentimes. And so states what you will do for your client to earn your commission and holds you accountable. I like that, to high standards. Love, 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 those two right there. But see this word persuasive? I'm a persuader. That's my high eye. I can just influence people all day long. I don't understand it, but I know I can do it. I used to own aerobics business, Amy's Aerobics and Fitness down in Louisiana. And I had people come up to me. Pat was one of them. I hate exercise, Amy. How come you can make me like it? Maybe because I made it fun. Maybe because I did sweating to the oldies a little bit, because I like oldies. And I choreographed all of my routines. They weren't just rote. I made it fun. I made them understand how important exercise is. So all of that to say, it will hold you to high standards. Remember that one of our beliefs is the Y4C2Ts. Ben would be so proud of me that I'm bringing it up. Is commitment in all things. And I like the W, right? Make it a win-win. There's a realtor that used to have boxing gloves up on the billboards. You probably know I'm talking about, some of you. And I said to Joe when I first moved to town, why does she have boxing gloves? What does that mean? I'll beat you up? I mean, really, what does that say? I would stand there with me on that billboard and I would have win right above my hand and I would have another big win so the cars could see it. And because I want it to be a win when both sides matter, whether you represent one side or the other, both sides matter. And I say that all day long, to the point where I had a buyer get in my face saying, whose side are you on? I'm on yours, but we've got to play the devil's advocate. She's a single mom. You can't bleed blood out of a turnip. Mark, and he was right in my face. He was a sniper 5 times tour of duty. He had PTSD on steroids, and I helped him twice. It was interesting. So all of that to say, let's move on. I'm supposed to ask, what are other examples of how your value proposition can align with a W4C2T, Y4C2Ts? Guys, I don't really want to camp on that a long time because Ben hits it a lot in our sales meeting. But is there one of those things that you just really like the best out of all of them?
We talked about that
Mhm.
Monday.
Did you talk about that? Okay,
I
so.
think mine was integrity or something.
Mhm.
Communication was a big one. Somebody
Communication
had
is
said that.
huge. Guys, become great communicators. I answer my phone way too late at night. I don't teach people how to treat me. I teach them that I'm always available to them. It has served me well. My poor husband, he's a real estate widow, but he's a boat inspector. He's actually in Galapagos, Ohio right now for the next 2 days. I'm a single woman. No, I'm not single. I'm never single. For 41 years, I'm not single. We celebrate our 41th anniversary September 4th. And we've been together for 45 years, a long time, since I was 16 and he was 18. You do the math. And but anyway, I do answer my phone a lot, and Joe seems to be okay with that because he's sitting in the recliner next to me doing his boat reports while I'm doing real estate. So we're empty nesters. Our kids are raised. We have 8 grandchildren, a 9th in the womb. Can't wait. And it just seems to serve me well. But I would tell you, for this part of your business, getting it up and running, be available. It will serve you well and you'll get business. Be available whether you feel like it or not. Even if I do not answer my phone on Sunday mornings in church. I used to step out of church to take a call. I don't anymore. I had to rein myself in sometime, and I thought, this is not fair to God or to me, right? So I just put it on silence, and I follow along with the notes on my app because we have a Bible app that our church puts the notes on there, and I can take notes on there. But my point is, be a good communicator. Okay, it's real important. And all those Y4C2Ts are really important. But we're not going to belabor it. Okay, top agents can easily explain what services they will provide to anyone who hires them. Out of this short time with me, what services do I provide? You can't answer because you're on the team.
It's easier to say what services do you not provide. You
Okay.
do photography, you do the sketches, you do the buyer consultation, listing consultations, you do the marketing.
My marketing material rocks.
Mhm.
I always put this in my listing packet and my buyer guide. Keller Williams is #1. And the next one so far down, this is so far for 2023. And sometimes I put 2022 on the back if I remember to, but it's on really nice paper for the listing side of things. And I tell them, when you choose to work with me, you're working with the #1 real estate company in the world, in America, and in Western Kentucky.
Is that
Where'd you
local?
get that?
This is from the MLS. This is under statistical
You can put that
reporting.
in there.
You can go under firm and you
Good.
can print this out.
Look good.
But look at my marketing material. You guys, this is so nice. You want to pass it around? There's another one.
Can we look at it?
Yeah, I'm gonna show it to you guys in just 1 second. Okay, let me pass it around. So look at it quickly and then I'll show the screen. This is the MLS sheet, guys, and we just print it off of statistical reporting, and then you go down under firm. And you can just for this so far this year, Keller Williams, and this is as of May 16th. So we need to update this again. We had 1,237 units closed. The next one only has 436. So we are carrying 15.39% of the market. The next one is only 6.69. And so I'm not here to bash them. I'm here to say we've worked hard to get here. You're working with a really good realtor. And this is what the Matterport draws. I don't have to draw them anymore, praise Jesus. And I know it's Matterport because they've got all these dots. Mine didn't have any dots. I paid floor plan online to clean them up. And I had to draw them to scale, had to do all of that.
Maybe, did you make these,
Canva,
demand? Canva.
It's
okay, that's
Canva.
what I asked.
Autumn uses Canva. I think Haley, you started making some of those. Elena used to make them. Yeah, Canva is pretty doggone easy and we use a lot of Canva.
So
Okay.
for each listing package, you individualize.
I do. This is what's gonna be in a stand. It's gonna be in a stand at their house. Here's, and then what Autumn does for me is she laminates the floor plan. This is one that's getting ready to go live. Look at that unique house. And it's sitting on almost 6 acres. This is it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Mhm.
I'm so.
Yeah, and so this is what I'm gonna be dropping off this afternoon when I get back from a Fulton listing. And so that's gonna go in there. On the back side of it is the floor plan.
Is that in Bolton?
What?
Is that in Bolton?
No, this one is gonna be Benton, Big Bear Highway.
I'm looking for property too, so
Okay.
everything I read across, sorry.
It is gonna be 469, 79, 89,000, somewhere in that.
Actually,
So do you print your own stuff in house
I do,
with laser printer?
we do. No, we just use the copy, the regular copier.
Okay.
But that's
But
laser
This is
paper.
laser paper, and you
Right.
guys, your paper matters. It
Right,
really, it's part of my value. So
exactly.
Jerry, Lois Hook had a nice house on Candy Cane Lane in Murray, really nice house. She found me through Dave Ramsey. And when I'm sitting down there, she had 2 other agents to interview after me. Don't know when they were gonna show up, but I did a really bold script. I can't believe I haven't done it very much and that makes me nervous, but I did it. She goes, oh, nice paper, Amy. And when we got done, all the way through that listing presentation, she said, I like what you're doing. Man, this is really impressive, Amy. We focus on details for some, the really big details for some of these, just what we need, guys. Sugar.
That's it, right.
I don't need any sugar. Additional features. I don't do this for all of mine, but I do that for some of mine. Just because I think details matter and agents don't want to spend time on the details. You need to spend time on the details. Oh, let me show you guys these. So this is one flyer and it's printed on laser paper.
Blueberries and something.
Cream cheese, it looks
Could
like.
Whenever you get out those pets, who usually pass them back.
Oh, how cool, look at the little. Oh, I don't see anybody chatting. Okay, and here's the second flyer. And these are for listings. And guys, if these don't get taken, don't throw them away. Put them in your pre-listing packets. These are leftovers. I'm not gonna print just for my listing packet. I'm gonna take what people didn't use or take a buyer at a showing. These are for buyer showings for them to take. And then this one has an additional features on the back, which we do some additional features. But not all the time, depending on the property. And then we usually do a flyer on the front and we do the floor plan on the back. Yeah, floor plan, did you have?
What's the back? Okay, all right.
Yeah, floor plans are usually on the back.
Like she copies them on the back of the flyer.
Yeah,
That's-
so
that just
Autumn,
makes sense
we
to
just
me.
figured out how you put them in the thing, so they print right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's, yeah, so you lay your flyer, I think you lay your flyer like that, and then it comes up like this. Where they, this looks right. Okay, so let's keep moving on. Okay, yeah, I have a lot of value that I bring to the table, guys. Let's look at this quote. This is from the MREA book. We're supposed to read together. I read it for you. Fire me. Okay, so benefits of a value proposition. Having a value proposition benefits your business in these 3 ways. Helps your clients understand your value and expertise. Not everyone knows why they should hire an agent for their real estate needs. Sharing your value proposition with your potential client provides them opportunity to see how working with you can make it easier on the real estate. Make their real estate experience better. I often say buying and selling real estate is very emotional and it's very stressful. My job is to make it enjoyable. My job is to take some of that stress away from you or stress that's happening in the background you'll never know about because that's what I'm getting paid to do. And I've had people say, this was really funny, Amy. I like fun. If you don't know anything about me, I like to have fun. I love laughter. Laughter is such good medicine for the soul. I like people with senses of humor. I like people who are silly and fall off of chairs when they're sitting next to me in a coaching. And I couldn't quit laughing while we were in a coaching because I do stuff like that, right? And so those are some of the things that I often tell people. This can be really stressful. I want you to have an experience that you hardly had any stress. And I'm over here jogging 3 miles to get rid of the stress, or going to the gym in the morning because I got to get the stress out somehow.
A lot of clients appreciate the excitement and the
Energy.
yeah.
Okay, so protects your commission. We talked about that. Your value propositions helps you stand out from the competition and helps your clients understand what they are paying for. Build strong. Okay, let me just expound on that for just a quick second. Andrew Halligan got my foot in the door with a friend of his that was selling their house, and they wanted almost $700,000. It was way overpriced. $650. It was way overpriced. It sold for $495. It's a really nice house. It was in Kevel, Ballard County, but I forget what subdivision, but it was on Ashley Lane. Andrew kept saying, you need to hire my coach. Because I was his productivity coach. You need to hire my coach to sell this house. Nope, we're already going to get so-and-so. And that so-and-so is a doctor's wife in Paducah. We're already going to get so-and-so to list our house. He said, just interview her. You got nothing to lose. So he got my foot in the door. I gave him a 25% referral gladly because I would have never had that opportunity to list that home. I went in there with a pre-listing packet. I went in there with, because they had been a for sale by owner, way overpriced. So I already could see the inside of their house. I already could do a CMA for them. And so I go in there with 2 really impressive packets. When I got done meeting with them an hour later, the husband said to me, why did the other agent not do that? I said, I don't know. Has this been of value to you? Has this helped you to understand the market? Has this helped you to understand the value of your home? Has this helped you to understand what we will do for you? That other agent just walked in the house and said, this is what I'd list it for. Call me when you're ready. Now, maybe she was there 20 minutes. But guys, she didn't do any of that. She just assumed that she had the listing. She had no idea this little girl was being interviewed. I got the listing. They got frustrated as we weren't selling. So guess what? We started chasing the market and their house plummeted. It should have been listed no more than $550. And we started like at $625. But I wanted the listing really bad, even though I knew where it was going to sell. I was right, but I wanted the listing really, really bad. And I took it, and they were very hard to work with. Boy, did I earn. I told Andrew, thanks a lot. Thanks for nothing. He said, you're earning your commission, aren't you? Because I said to him, why don't you just service them? He said, are you kidding? I used to work with the husband. I'm not good enough to service them. I'm a new agent. They need somebody like you with your expertise, your confidence, your marketing rollout, everything you'll do for them. The value proposition that I brought to the table is what they really needed. So I did. I threw him a 25%. Did I talk about that last slide? I think I did. Yep.
Quick question about that. What was the difference between you and the other agent when
She didn't bring a pre-listing packet to them. So guys, you've got to have a pre-listing packet. And I don't know what I did with this page. Hang on, I'm going to show you. So she didn't have a pre-listing packet, and she did not do a full-blown CMA.
Okay.
Market analysis, or comparable market analysis, some people will call it. And I did. I had it all.
Got it.
Guys, it took me 2 hours to do that CMA the night before, but I sat in my bed and Joe was watching the news, and I'm finishing up thinking this is taking forever. So I put my pre-listing packets in just a Keller Williams. But it's a nice one. Older. The reason I do white is because the reds don't always match what you get, and I think it looks really tacky. I think white just looks really nice, and these aren't that expensive actually. So she had nothing to offer them other than verbal, and I had comps, I had my marketing material, I had my aggressive marketing strategy, I had it all, and that was a value to them. So they hired me, and I'm sure she was stunned. I'm sure that's one of my proudest moments. My proudest moment is when I beat a big gun like a Vince Carter or Jessica Hausman out of a listing. And it doesn't always happen, but it does happen sometimes. And it's like, okay, that was good. Okay, so learning how to define your personal value proposition. It may be helpful to look at examples of value propositions from well-known and successful companies. I'm not going to break you guys up into a group to read over these, but I want you to read over these kind of quickly. And then I want to ask you what makes these value propositions successful. I like State Farms. Here to help life go right. Isn't that good? So I paid a pretty penny for Socially Present to rebrand me and give me a new name. That's where the door came from, not them, but from Sam, who's on my team, and his brother Jonas Niehoff owns it. And I thought I'd get a little bit of a discount because he did. We didn't get any discount, but they came up with the slogan, "Our service will move you." Move is italicized, move is red, because we move from one house to the next, right? That's way better than the Brock A team, A+ experience for every client. I had no idea how that slogan put so much pressure on me. When I started using "Our service will move you," I could just breathe a sigh of relief and feel like the stress was taken off of me. I don't know why, other than maybe I was over promising and under delivering a little bit here and there. So talk to me. Value proposition examples. These are written, they are client-centered. And that's client-centered language, which is resonating with them. What else jumps out to these about these to you guys?
I think in a world where customer service continues to dwindle, our emphasis as a team is to provide the best customer service that we possibly can. Because I think whenever you're having conversations with the folks, they say, they tell you about a bad customer service experience they had, and you hear more and more and more about that. And I think if you can sell that, and that's going to be a major value proposition.
Yeah, huge. Being available is a huge value proposition. These propositions, they pose a challenge along with a solution. Be very solution-based as realtors. Probably my IQ isn't super, super high at all, actually. I'm just average. I just have a buttload of common sense that has served me well over the years. I can be very solution-based because of my common sense. I'm always looking for a way how to get through this successfully. I'm always looking for solutions. So be solution-based as a realtor. Value proposition examples explain either directly or indirectly through implication why you are different from your competition. Tony Strickland called me when I first moved up here and I started doing these floor plans. I maybe had been here a year, didn't even know who Tony Strickland was barely. And she said, "Amy, I just toured your house on Windmere. Where'd you get that floor plan?" I said, "I drew it." She said, "As in an app drew it?" I said, "No, I measured every door and every window and I put it on graph paper so it was to scale, and then I paid to have it cleaned up." And she goes, "Impressive. Have a nice day." So it was like the number 2 agent telling me she was impressed. So I kind of giggled about that, but she didn't need to do that to stand out or to get the business. I did. Okay, so refer to the participant guide. So far in Ignite, we discussed your value that enhanced by being part of Keller Williams, what it means to serve as a fiduciary for your client, and the importance of being a market expert. Let's connect what we have learned so far with your value proposition. Do you value, be honest with me, do you guys value working with the #1 real estate company? You don't work for them. You're an independent contractor. You work for yourself. You just hang your license. When somebody says you work for Keller Williams, actually, I work with them. I don't work for them. I work for myself. I'm self-employed. But do you value being aligned with the #1 real estate company? Why do you value that?
Well, I had, my listing on Mimosa. That kind of sealed the deal for him to be associated with. When I gave him this chart that highlights Keller Williams, that was kind of like, okay, wow. And he did throw that, like, how many deals have you had? And I spun it for Amy really, because I could. But I mean, just the things that KW offers, like this, for example, and trainings and, other agents don't get that.
Technology, trainings above any other companies out there. You guys may not know this, but for 4 different, not consecutive, 4 different years, we were named the #1 training company across all industries. Google it, look up. I think one year was 2018, maybe. But that's pretty impressive across all industries. That's the medical industry, that's the retail industry, that's the industrial side of things, the construction side of things. We were #1. That's a big deal. In 2018, we were named, or 19, we were named Technology Company of the Year. You guys were not even a tech company. That's pretty impressive. So know those stats and count them in a good way, because it is cool that we work with the #1. I want you guys in here to pinky promise me that you'll consider going to family reunion. You won't have a clue if you've never been. I've been to 8 family reunions and 2 mega agent camps, and I've done Bold 3 times. I'm fixing to do it my 4th time. You have no idea who Gary Keller is. You'll see him speak. He's a character. He's so smart, way smarter than I am. He's so smart. But you will have no idea what the company you've aligned yourself with until you go get in their presence on the big scale. It's worth the money you'll spend to go share a hotel with somebody, 2 or 3 people, and it'll be a fraction of the cost. You kind of got to spend money to make money.
And it's in Vegas.
And it's in Las Vegas. I don't love Las Vegas.
Well, I've never been, but.
Yeah, I was just there. I don't love Las Vegas. Okay, so how does being a market expert add to your value proposition when you have your finger on the pulse of the market, the knowledge you glean and share with your clients as a part of your value proposition? This is because whatever you learn will help you in guiding your clients to make the best decisions. I guess it keeps you on the same screen a couple of times, but it changed the words, so let me read them. Okay, what other knowledge or attitudes, skills, and beliefs do you possess that may help you stand out as an agent? What's something that you're really good at, or you're strong, that you're comfortable with, or you've been doing a long time in other arenas that could benefit you or serve you well in real estate?
I think I'm a strong communicator, but I'm also a people pleaser. So
Okay, so but you're a strong communicator. That's going to really help you in the real estate world. What else? Did anybody used to work in sales? Okay, I sold Mary Kay. I became a director. I drove that free car. Yeah, Mary Kay Sisters. I still use it all these years later. I'm a consultant still, but only user. For my bio, have you guys written your bio yet? Put in your homework, your bio. It might just be a short paragraph of what you love about real estate or why you decided to jump into the real estate world. Tracy Mayhew has a strong bio. Hers started from when she left Atlanta, Georgia, and moved up to Paducah, Kentucky, all during COVID, and how she fell in love with the process of finding the right home. And she decided she wants to help other people do that. My bio is I love people. I'm such a people person. I'm not a people pleaser, but I am a people person. And my kids will tell you I'm not a people pleaser. I'm really not. At all, actually. But okay, are you bilingual? Un poquito. I speak a little bit of Spanish. Como se dice down in Nicaragua will get you everywhere because it's how do you say this? And then you point to it. Como se dice. And so I'm not bilingual. I can't use that as one of mine, but some people who are, that would be a benefit of working with a Hispanic community or somebody who speaks Spanish from Spain or whatever. Used to work in sales. Their family member was a real estate agent. These are some things. They have a degree in finance, accounting, business, or real estate. There's different things that will give you guys an advantage. Kind of think about what you could add as your value proposition based on your past life. Elena's not here, but I've said this for her many times because I coached her. When I started coaching this, she just turned 18 when I started coaching her. We did a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teenagers. Do you think I've done that with any of my other coaching clients? I haven't, because they weren't teenagers, but I used to do teenagers down in Louisiana with that book. I homeschooled for 18 years, all 18 years of my kids' education, kindergarten through senior high. They have 5 college degrees. Cameron has 3. 2 masters in it. So whatever I did worked. They're smart kids in spite of me. But I would say to Elena, the biggest negative for an 18, 19, 20-year-old of becoming a realtor, can you finish my sentence? What's the biggest negative?
Lack of experience.
Lack of life experiences. So me, I bought 3 houses, only 3 in 41 years, but I have the experience of having gone through the process. I should have paid more attention because I wasn't a realtor with the first 2. But she has 0 life experiences. She's barely bought a car. She hasn't bought any houses. She hasn't been married. She doesn't really know. She knows a lot about people, but she hasn't experienced probably the difficult side of people as much as we have who are older. So that's why I did 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teenagers with her. I learn and I grow when I read the teenage version. Be proactive, don't be reactive is one of the chapters. Know your line in the sand. Know what your non-negotiables are as a human being. Don't put yourself in situations. If you're not going to drink, don't hang out with kids who do. Simple as that. Know your lines in the sand. We need to know them too. I call them guardrails. Don't I have guardrails in place for our marriage for 41 years? Because this little girl could fall in a moment. I know what my guardrails are, and I know what I don't go out to bars. I don't go out and drink. I don't go do things that I know is going to land this little girl in trouble. So just common sense stuff, guys. Okay, so let's talk about KW and market center value. Let's look up some possible ways you can charge up your value propositions with what we've already learned about. We have access to collective knowledge and experience of nearly 200,000 agents worldwide. Do you guys ever talk about KWLS? Do you know what KWLS is? Keller Williams Listing Service. Did you know we have our own MLS? It's just called KWLS. It's Keller Williams Listing Service. And so you can put your listings, and it's done through ListHub, so you shouldn't have to enter them twice. Back in the day, we had to. And it picks up, I think, through ListHub in your setting up Ask Allie, or if Allie doesn't know, she'll find out for you. But there's one little box you have to check so that your listings go to KWLS as well. We can market to all those other agents in the United States. I tell them coastline to coastline, north and south. Everybody, and you guys, Western Kentucky is very transient. If you're not spinning it that way, we have power plants, we have all sorts of different plants, but we have the river industry here. I'm here because my husband's in the river industry. It's a very transient area. Farming isn't transient, river and plants are. And so spin that we're a very transient area, and we have buyers coming in and sellers selling all the time. And that makes this a really, really good market. We can point you to reputable resources for services provided. Now this has handymen, window washers, tax associates, and financial advisors. I change those out with inspectors, with lenders. And yes, do I have a handyman in my back pocket? Brandon Driver. Yep. So I can give you some of those lists of my vendors, but mostly I'm going to guide you to really good lenders and really good inspectors. So I would change a couple of those words out if it were me. I can help you price your home to sell because I am very tuned into the market, of moment. So you probably one of the most challenging things as a new agent is pricing a home. That is so intimidating. And so Barry Pritchard is going to be teaching. I think he's done 1. We've got 2 more classes up, not from the appraiser perspective, although he'll throw a little bit of that in because he can't turn off that brain, but he's going to teach you guys how to price houses. I'll probably end up doing a class on pricing your home for selling. I never tell my sellers, here's where you should price it. I give them a price range of $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 that I feel like the market is going to support. Why is it important to give them a price range and not a price?
Because you want them to be able to pick the price that they think they feel it's worth, and then you can.
Yes, I want them to feel like they're in control.
Yeah, and then you can.
But it lets me off the hook.
Yeah.
I don't have a crystal ball. I tell my sellers all day long, I don't have a crystal ball, but based on these stats that I've just presented to you, I feel the market's going to support a $485 to $499 price range. And Austin and I just gave somebody that person that was gonna rent from me, we're now getting ready to list their house, and it's a Benton address, and it's a really nice house with a really nice detached garage. But my point being, give them a range. Don't put that liability on yourself that you know what it's gonna sell for, because we don't have a crystal ball. The ones that I think are gonna sell for top dollar are sitting right now. And the ones I think are gonna take forever to sell have 5 offers. It's crazy. So just know, and I do say that all the time, guys, I don't have a crystal ball, but based on these numbers, and I'm a numbers girl, I'm not gonna pull a number out of thin air. I just want you to consider this price range of what we feel the market will support, and the market is buyers. Any ahas, any questions about that segment? Has this been helpful?
Very helpful.
Very, very, thanks.
Okay, let me see if anybody's asking a question. I can get this to pop up, and I can't get it to pop up, and then I can't get it to go away. There it went away. Okay, what matters to buyers most is what we're going to go into next. This is all in your participants guide. Understanding what buyers and sellers want out of their real estate experience isn't complex, yet it requires that you know the purpose of real estate. The purpose of real estate is different for buyers and sellers. So what's the purpose of a realtor for a buyer? To find a home. Mhm. What else would a buyer be looking for in a realtor?
Guidance, representation.
Yep, they need guidance. They have no idea how to put in an offer, most of them, right? So for buyers, their goal to just find is to find just the right home at the best price in the right time with the least number of problems. For sale by owners have no idea what they've taken on most of the time. They really have no idea. Gary explains for sellers in the MREA book that for sellers, their goal is to net the most money in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of problems. So if you do not understand your client's goals, they may have a poor experience. Guys, write this down. When you sit down for a listing consultation and a buyer consultation, I want you to start off, before I get going, I have one question for you. What's the most important thing a realtor can do for you? Or what can I bring to the table that's most important to you? Always ask that question and then be quiet. What's the most important thing you need me to do for you as your realtor?
That's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. And so for a seller, what do you think they might say to me? I need the most out of my money. Amy, I need $500,000 to be able to build my next home, my retirement home. And so I write it down. They need top dollar. What else is important to you?
Listening to them.
That I listened to you. My last realtor bowled over the top of us and didn't do anything that we asked. And I hear that often. And I say, I'm really sorry. What else is important to you? If they don't tell me what I want to hear, I'm going to tell them, can I tell you what's really important to me? And they'll say, yes, communication. And I have a page in here all about communication. It is key. And then I say to my sellers, do you know what the #1 complaint against realtors is? And then I get quiet and I let them think and I let them answer. And what do you think they tell me? We slap a sign in the yard, we slap it on the MLS, and we're gone. We move on. Yeah. We don't communicate with them at all. So guys, I do seller updates. Autumn does them for me now, but I used to do all my own. Every other week, our listed sellers are getting a seller update from us. So they know what we're doing behind the scenes to get their household. We didn't just put it on the MLS, put a sign in the yard, the 3 Ps that Diana Kokoska script, and pray that it would sell.
Another thing too, like whenever if you have a listing and you get feedback, like send the feedback to the sellers.
Yeah.
I mean,
give it
just
to them
that
within
little
24 hours or less.
Just so they know, like, you know, she's looking at her, who the agent's looking at it, and
Get them feedback and put them on the automated. So whoever the key contact person is, if it's occupied, have them put a Y in there, not an N. And if it's empty, put it on automatic confirmation. But have it being texted to somebody else because that's accountability for you. You know that seller has seen it. And do you know what I'm talking about? Okay.
Like
so
showing time.
showing time. It's all in showing time.
Oh, it's in the showing time.
Like the seller confirmed the showing request.
There's a showing time. This one got rescheduled, showing confirmation. It pops up on my phone and it pops up on their phone, that seller's, but it doesn't give them the name of the realtor. This tells me that Cindy Jones today is showing my North 12th Street. Today.
Yeah, and if it cancels, it always asks, what's
And-
the reason for canceling?
Yeah,
I
and
always put a reason.
Yeah,
don't
and this
know.
is rescheduled because the time didn't work for the buyer anymore, kind of thing. So that this is a wonderful tool, showing time. It's a wonderful tool. Let me go back to what I never finished telling you. When I was sitting down at the table with Lois Cook for Candy K Lane in Murray, Diana Kokoski's script, she wrote bold, by the way. She founded the MAPS coaching site of Keller Williams. She's amazing. And she has a script that says, is there any reason you can't call those other two realtors and cancel that appointment? I'm offering everything. I'm going to do everything I've offered. You seem to be very pleased with what my presentation is and what I will do for you. Is there any reason you couldn't just call and cancel right now? She did. That's a very bold script. She got on the phone, and while I was sitting there, canceled both of those two other agents coming after me. Really bold script. Took me some nerve to even ask it, but I did, and it worked. It's amazing how these scripts work. How many of you guys do script practice? Speaking of script practice, keep doing them. They work. I use scripts for the last 10 years. All the time, actually 12 years, because I did both 12 years ago, my first one. So use your scripts. This is okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, and I want you all to give me a number, and I want you guys that are on Zoom to type in a number in the chat box. On a scale of 1 to 10, I love scales. They tell me a lot of information. So when I put in an offer for a buyer and they're wanting a low ball, but they love the house, I stop and say, okay, I got to ask an important question, and scales tell me everything I need to know. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I have to have this house, and 1 being I'm not attached to the outcome, where are you? A 10. Well, then why are you offering them 20,000 less when we've only been on the market for 2 days? You're going to miss out on this house. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I'm a great communicator, and 1 being I really stink at communication. Give yourself a number. How are you at communicating? And think about real estate with your spouse, with your significant other, with your children, with your, if you have another job, whatever. Communication is key in every relationship. So who wants to volunteer and give me a number? I got 2 in the chat box. What are you?
Probably a 7.5.
Okay. I think you're a really good communicator.
You think I'm better than that?
You communicate very well with me. When I give Haley a lead on the team, she answers me immediately. We have a rule. If you don't respond within 5 to 7 minutes, I'm going to give it to the next agent.
Okay, make it an 8.
Yeah, and you're probably, I think you're a great communicator. Okay, let me see what somebody else has. Okay, so Jade, you gave an 8. Good job. I think you are, because I was her bold captain when we did it at Beaver Dam 2 years ago. Jade was at my table. Aaron, you're an 8. Good job. Tony, you're an 8. Sarah, you're a 9. Good job. We always can improve on our communication. Tell me what you are. Give me a number.
I don't know.
I'm going to come back to you.
Uh,
Okay.
maybe
Okay.
I don't know.
9, I love to communicate, but I'm not sure about what comes out the health score of that. So that's
Right.
why I'm here learning.
Yes, yes, we just need to be communicating.
Oh, I got, I'll pick an 8.
Okay.
Say 9.
Okay, that's good.
What are you?
You know, some days I'm a 6 and some days I'm a 10. It just depends on the day. Clearly today I didn't. You know what?
Yeah.
Some days I do communicate better than other days, but I work hard to communicate because it's so, so important, which is why I answer my phone all the time. Okay, thanks guys for weighing in. Good job. Guys, there's a lot I'm supposed to say to you. We don't need to go over that again. Okay, I don't understand. Okay, here's the top 10 service areas of the buyer value proposition. I'm gonna tell you, I would take that neighborhood information and I'd probably move it over that way. I don't focus heavily on neighborhoods unless the buyer says, I want to live in Bent Creek. The people that Austin and I are gonna list for in Benton address, a really nice one that's gonna rip from me that I asked if she had a realtor. And then we went and interviewed for the job and got it. She wants to be in Bent Creek. Would it behoove me to know about Bent Creek? It would. Right, but now they already have a lot in Bent Creek, so I really don't have be a Bent Creek expert. But my point being, every now and again, you're gonna be called upon. I live in Jean Quillan neighborhood in Paducah. So I'm right at exit 7. You know where Whitehaven Welcome Center is? I live right behind that. The very first street is Martin Circle. I'm 41 Martin Circle. So it behooves me to know my neighborhood, and I've sold a bunch of houses in that neighborhood, listed probably 10 of them, at least, maybe more. And I've put a lot of buyers in my neighborhood because I like my neighborhood. So I don't focus as much on the neighborhood as I do the counties. I want to know about Crichton County because I live in Marion. I want to know about Fredonia, which is Caldwell County, I think. Am I right? I think it is. But
Sounds
Callaway
right.
is Murray, Caldwell. It's not Carlisle because Carlisle is Bardwell, Arlington. I think it's Caldwell County. Lyon, of course, is Edaville and Catawba area. Trigg is Katie's area. And so I've had to learn as a transplant here a lot about these counties. And so that's what I focus on. But these are the top 10 service areas of the buyer value proposition from the MREA book. We will talk about them. We will cover these in more detail. So let's just move on to the next slide. Okay, I love pie charts in this one. Okay, here's the first pie chart. I think this is really interesting data, In your buyer guide, and actually, I think it's in your listing guide as well. Guys, I didn't make up the process. This is in your listing packet. We just got rid of a lot of the unnecessary ones that we didn't feel applied. So just know that all of this information, most of it, the value of a real estate professional, that's in your listing packet.
And your listing packet is in command.
Okay, see this pie chart? I love this pie chart. And if you move it, see this pie chart, guys? I love it. It's in your listing packet, in command, under the little paintbrush thing. And then you'll go to create marketing or something, and then you'll go to print, and because you want the printed version. But this says where buyers come from. They don't come from print material. They come from online, the majority of them. So I tell my sellers, we're going to spend the bulk of our marketing money online and in the in-house stuff for showing. So I think that one's really, really, really important. But this pie chart says that 52% help find the right home to purchase from their agent. 13% help buyer negotiate the terms of sale. The 11% represents the help with the price negotiations. I would think that would be a little bit higher, but the 24% that's the other is help find the right home. No, wait, let me go down here. Help with paperwork, that's 8%. Determine what comparable homes we're selling for, 6%. Help determine how much home a buyer can afford, that's 4%. Help find and arrange financing, 3%. Help teach buyer more about neighborhood or area, restaurants, parks, public transportation, 2%. Help find renters for buyer's property, less than 1%, and the other is 2%. So that's some of that miscellaneous 24%. I think that's very interesting stuff. What do buyers value? Why do you think I wanted to do floor plans?
Because nobody else does.
Hardly anybody else was doing it. But why else would I want to do it? No, because believe it or not, that's not my floor. That's not my square footage source. I don't want to be liable for that. Why else would I do it? Have you ever looked at a floor plan and walked through it visually? Cause you could see where every closet is, you could see how big the master suite is, cause 18 by 20 is pretty good size. And there it is on the floor plan. Gary Keller says at Family Reunion and at Mega Agent Camp that over 50% of the buyers value a floor plan. That's another reason I want to do them, because I think they bring huge value to the buying process. If somebody could walk through a house before we ever walk in that house, it might keep us from going to see that house, actually, because that master bedroom is only 10 by 10. And they got a king size bed, maybe a California king, and they don't want a small bedroom. So I do think that, I just think it helps. Okay, so keep in mind, these are results from buyers being asked to state the one thing that is most important to them. Most buyers need help with paperwork or learning about their neighborhoods. Yet when asked to give just one answer, this is what they said. Think about the skills or services you offer that align with what buyers want. Can you unlock a door and get them in? That's part of that 52%. Help find the right home to purchase. That's the bulk of why they need us, because they can't get into just any home. You can, because you're a licensed real estate agent. Do you guys, I have to veer from this because it pops into my head, something you need to know. Do you guys coach your buyers on how to work with a for sale by owner?
Yes.
So what do you tell them?
I said, you know, we can always go look at them typically, but I have to be the one that calls them first.
So why do you have to call them first?
Because I want a commission, and if they go by themselves, they won't work with an agent.
I wish I would have grabbed the buyer packet, but I forgot. Imagine that. I can show you, because I have it on my computer as I throw things. Okay, on the, in our buyer guide, I copied this from somebody else. It was, somebody came down and we were at Miller Park and they taught us, and he had a team, and I can't remember his name, but it's gonna come to me maybe. In my buyer guide, he sent us that flyer for anybody who was at that training. It's gonna come to me. But this is what it looks like. Okay, important to know. And I have on here listed homes. And then I have for sale by owner highlighted. And then I have open houses. And then I have open houses, and then I have house shopping. Boy, this is really messed up. Good thing I'm looking at this and not emailing it to somebody. Okay, so I think I put it back. House shopping, inspections. I even have open house there. What if your client goes to an open house? What's that realtor sitting there gonna try to do?
Take that business.
Take that business. So just tell them, take a couple business cards in case you end up at open house, and give them my business card and say, I'm working with Amy Broad.
I used to do that in car sales.
Yes, coach them. But was for sale by owners, I have on here, call me first. Why? A for sale by owner will pay my commission if I contact them first. If you contact them first, all bets are off. They're gonna say, nope, they already contacted us. We don't need your services. So I coach my buyers on why they need to just send me a for sale by owner. If they see it, they're a viable industry. Now, before COVID, 85 to 90% of for sale by owners listed to get sold. Then COVID happened, 95% were getting their homes sold. Guess what's happened now? 50% of the buyers went away when the interest rates climbed up. Probably 75% of them are listing now to get their home sold. Go after for sale by owners. I probably need to teach that class too, because that's how I got my business off the ground when I moved here. Okay, here's another pie chart. Factors buyers value when choosing an agent. Look at this one. Who said integrity? Haley? Agent is honest and trustworthy. Do you want to work with a scoundrel? You don't. You want to work with somebody you feel is upright and going to shoot straight with you always and not lie to you or not twist things for their benefit. And people do it all the time. When asked the most important factor in choosing a real estate agent. Then the next one was agent's experience, 19%. Reputation of the agent. Do you think your reputation matters? There's an agent in this industry that just lead generates like nobody's business, but she gets very little repeat business. Because once she serviced them or didn't service them well, they don't call her back. 40% of what I close on is repeat customers or those happy past clients referring me to other family members or friends. 40%. Taken me years to get there, but I'm there. Bengarola has used me 12 times. His kids have all used me. Lexi's just in from out of another country, and I'm going to help her buy multifamily. I get referrals all day long. So reputation matters usually. Other 44% that makes up of agent is friend or family member. That's 13%. Agent's knowledge of the neighborhood is 8%. Agent has caring personality, good listener, 6%. Empathy is everything, guys. Agent is timely with response. That's 6%. Agent seems 100% accessible because of use of technology like tablet or smartphone. That's 4%. Active in local community volunteers. That's only 1%, but for some people that's important. Professional designations held. Okay, I was going to go get one of those designations behind my name until Gary Keller put a slide up at family reunion, and it said that less than 1% cares if you have other designations. So I kept growing floor plans because over 50% cared about them. Interesting. Not saying they're not worthwhile because of what you'll learn. You'll learn a lot, but the public could care less about them. They don't even know what they mean. That GRSCIW, whatever they are. I don't know what all they mean, but I don't have any of them. I am commercial designated because I've been through commercial real estate school, and I'm commercial and residential, and I'm a team owner. I guess I'm one of my designations as a CEO of a little bitty company called the Brock Home Team, right? What?
Theo.
Okay, buyer factors value when choosing an agent. We just saw that. Yep. Okay, if you resonate with any of these factors, consider including them in your value proposition. If integrity is important to you, you need to spell that out. I operate with the utmost integrity and honesty, and I will always speak true to you. Whatever you want to say. Let's practice taking these attributes and putting them into client-centered language. Hopefully you'll get some ideas for when you craft your own value proposition. Does anybody in here, this room, have a value proposition?
I did this last year when we did Ignite, and I wrote one, but
Okay, anybody Zooming? There's 4 of you. Do you have a value proposition?
Not yet.
Okay, I need you to come up with your value proposition.
Okay, I don't either, not yet.
Okay, select one of the factors, buyer's value, and rephrase into language that explains its value to the buyer. In other words, agent is honest and trustworthy. Could be, you can depend on me to help you make the best decisions, or I will work to serve your best interest. That's what my value proposition said. Always working with your best interest in mind. Yes. I just checked it. Okay. Oh, somebody has one, and I just let somebody back in because Aaron got bumped off. But I'm really curious what other category consists of. Okay, let me see if I just gave that to you. I haven't gotten to that yet on this slide. I don't think. Nope, it's not telling me. Let me see if the next one tells me. It does. So let me get through this slide, and then I'm going to tell you what it says on the next screen. Okay. Yesterday, Susan Cook, a client of mine that we just put the house under contract with Dora prior to going on vacation, interviewed 3 inspectors that I sent to her. Only one of them said, nobody's going to work as hard as I will for you. That one phrase won her business.
can you tell us who it was?
It was Tim.
I knew it.
Tim Stewart. I don't know Tim very. I've never.
He just did the one on mine. I
I've
liked
never
him a
met
lot.
Tim. But that one phrase, no one will work harder than I will for you, won her. She repeated it to me yesterday like 3 times. If you think stating your value proposition, that's his value proposition. Doesn't matter. Think again. It matters. Can you think of anything that you can add? What's going through your head right now for possible value propositions for yourself? Nothing?
I mean, I'm like jotting some stuff down as mine, but I don't have it fully ready to present yet.
Okay, Aaron, I don't know who it was that asked for this. I'm gonna take a picture of it and then I'm gonna text it to you guys. Aaron Brantley says, I'm off, please let me in. I accidentally closed it out. I'm gonna take a picture of this. Hey, guys, those of you who are watching, I'll do my very best to text this to you after this class. Because it has the breakdown of what that means, and I'm not gonna go over it again because of lack of time. Okay, let's get back to the next one. Okay, okay, what sellers want the most? Did we cover buyers so thoroughly enough for you guys? What sellers want most? Help price home competitively. They need help with that. They think they know, but they don't know. And some people say to me, Amy, I have no idea what my house is worth. Or I need this out of my house. When a seller says I need to make X amount of dollars out of my house to move out of state, what should you say back to them?
So I
Say
would
what?
say, if they're moving out of state, I usually ask if they already have an agent out of state that they plan on working with.
Okay, but what if they say I need X amount of dollars to be able to move? What should come to your mind first and foremost? Does what they need constitute market value? It doesn't.
That's why I had to check with CMA.
Yeah, just say, you know what, I understand what your needs are, but you have to understand that doesn't drive your house price up one iota. Market will set the value. And we have in this, and I love it, and I got it out. We put pictures. This came straight from, it's what determining the value of your home, put it in your pre-listing packet. This is how you perceive your home as a mansion. How a buyer perceives your home as a shack. How much it's really worth, somewhere in between. So it says right here, I'm not the one who decides how much your home is worth. The market does. Who's the market? Buyers.
Where's that at?
This is in the pre-listing packet that I want you guys to start working on. Okay? And there's there's like 30 pages. You're going to need about 10 or 12 of them. That's all. Don't use what doesn't resonate or what seems fluff or what has CMA information in it. Don't include it. Don't include past solds. Well, you can include testimonials, but don't include neighborhood stats. That's all crossing over into the CMA realm. Okay. Okay, so on this chart, we need to help them price competitively. We need to help seller market home to potential buyers. When a for sale by owner puts their house on the market, what's the one thing they typically do? Say what? Price it too high? No, as far as marketing goes. Facebook. They throw it up on Facebook, hoping for a buyer. Some of them put it on Zillow. How many sites does it go to when you guys list it? Do you know?
Like 800.
Yeah, like over 350. Some of those names you'll never have heard of. And they're in, maybe only one of them is in Rhode Island, but it's still a legitimate site and it gets sent out. We had a flyer that said over 350 agents years ago, and it had the top 50 listed. I wish we still had that flyer. I should try to look for it again. But I think that's really good for them to know that there's going to be, there's no reason nobody won't be able to find it. So that's really important to help sell the home within specific time frame. 16% help seller find ways to fix up their home to sell it for more. 16%. The others are 27%. And so, guys, here's that breakdown. Help find a buyer for a home. That's 12% of the other. Help with negotiations and dealing with buyers. That's 6%. Help with paperwork, inspections, preparing for settlement. 5%. Help sellers see homes available to purchase. 1%. Help create and post videos to provide tour of my home. That's 1%. So which one of these do you guys feel is the most important?
I think market your home.
I think so too. Because it's going to get it out to the most buyers. And that's going to sell their house.
Even before I knew how many marketing places we have to send it to, Um. I told my listing and seller person that, you know, Keller Williams has over 90 agents and they were impressed with that.
Yeah. Do you guys know how many agents we have here? We have a lot. I tell my story that when I moved to Paducah, Kentucky in November 10th, I rolled into town with a big old semi with all my stuff behind me. And that was November 10th or 11th, right around there. Century 21 had 68 agents, I think. Because one of the first things I did was look at a catalog of homes, and back then it was thick. And I just counted them because I wanted to know about the brokerages in the area. Now they have under 20 and we have almost 90. It's kind of impressive. It is. So when I moved here, there was no office in Keller Williams office in Paducah. I called Earlene and said, are you, because she was the team leader in Murray. And I said, I'm Amy Brock. I'm a realtor in Louisiana, Southeast Louisiana. Are you going to family reunion in a couple of weeks? She said, I am. I said, can I meet you? Because we're moving to Kentucky. So when I met her, Andy was the owner. Loretta was there. A couple other people that I don't remember. I think Tina was there. I think, I can't remember her name, but she knits and crochets a lot. She was one of Loretta's closest friends. I can't remember her name. But anyway, there was about 5 people there and I met them long before I moved up here. And I said to Earlene, do you guys ever want to have an office in Paducah? She said, we do. We just have nobody who wants to work there or who's living there. The reason there's an office in Paducah. Then 2 months later, Leslie Heath leaves and Earlene recruits her. So she's in Earlene's downline. And Andy and Earlene got an office for us on Strawberry Hill in Paducah. And there was one office for 2 agents. And I went in there thinking, I just want my phone to ring like Leslie Heath rings. And now my phone rings like Leslie Heath rings. And be careful what you pray for. Be careful what you work for. I'm one exhausted agent. Okay. Factors sellers consider when choosing an agent. You guys read through these. Reputation is huge. That's 32%. Agent is honest and trustworthy, similar to the buying site. Agent is friend or family member. That's only 17%. Other, you want me to tell you about other? Agent's knowledge of a neighborhood. Yes, that's 11%. So maybe you should learn neighborhoods better than I have. Agent has caring personality, good listener. Agent's commission. Agent's association with a particular firm. That's kind of important. Agent seems 100% accessible because of use of technology like tablet or smartphone. And then the other is 5%. So this is what's important, guys, to sellers. If I could say one thing about sellers, Melinda Watson is in my downline. She's my first recruit. I think I have 11 in my downline or 12. I can't remember. And Melinda was my very first downline that I ever got when I moved up here. And she called me one day, probably a year into this. I know you keep telling me I have to get good at listing. I don't like working with sellers. To which I said, why don't you like working with sellers? There's no pleasing them. I said, there will be pleasing them once you roll out what you're going to do for them. See, she didn't have a value proposition. So she just felt like she was always behind the 8 ball. I'm here to tell you, Melinda Watson, study her presentations, study her listings, look at her photos, look at her description. She's an excellent listing specialist. She embraced it because, guys, you'll never be dual agent unless you do the listing side. And then you get to bring a buyer. I'm both sides, 35 to 40% of my transactions. That's huge. And I do give 5% commission, 1% commission break. Much of the time, if you're awful to work with and you're very demanding and you're right down hateful, I'm not going to offer you that % off. But many people I do because I'm capped. I'm capped 10 months out of the year. I would have had to give Keller Williams and International 36%. So I'm okay with offering that because that gives me value proposition over the next agent. Okay. But don't do it unless you're capped. Okay. Any questions so far? What's most important to you as an agent that you do for your clients out of these 4 categories? What's most important to you out of these items?
Honest and trustworthy.
Say that again.
Honest and trustworthy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. Character is huge. And guys, when you go buy a car, can you sniff out a car salesman versus an authentic salesperson that really wants to listen to what you need and doesn't try to sell you the more? They'll just finally got a car. You remember how his pickup was on, his Joe's pickup has been on my goal poster, my vision board for 3 years. Yay. Toyota Tundra. No, it's Toyota Tacoma. It's so cute. And he's worked so hard to get there and he put $35,000 in. It's good. Okay, technology, value proposition. We already talked about that, but let's talk about technology on the seller side. Keller Williams is committed to adding to your value proposition. In today's market, that means investing in technology that propels your business forward. Being a Keller Williams agent means that the essentials you need to start building your brand and nurturing relationships are available to you as a Keller Williams agent. Command. Here are just a few of the features that Command provides for you, for your clients. Smart plans. You guys know what a smart plan is? Okay. Smart plans, KW app, which is taps into artificial intelligence, agent site. So let me show you guys really quick my website. I did not value a website for years. And then I spent a whopping $450 10 years ago, 9 years ago. And I paid somebody to make a nice, they wanted to charge me $3,000. I got them down to $450. Do you think I have good negotiating skills? I said to Jessica, what's her name? I said, Jessica, what makes you think I can afford $3,000? I just moved here a year ago. I'm trying to get my business off the ground. She comes down to 2,000. I said, no. So I told her I would keep looking. I woke up to an email that said, okay, I'll do it for 1,000. And I said, well, I think I can get it for way under that. She goes, how does $450 sound? So my website is amybrockrealtor.com. And this is what you're going to see. It used to be just me. Whoops. It used to be just me. But now that I have a team, I've had a team for December will be 6 years. Wow. Hard to believe. And so when you go on here, look at KW search, buyers, sellers, testimonials about our team, become an agent. There's even becoming an agent. I want to recruit you into my downline. There's the team. So you can scroll down and you can read about our team, right? Get to know us. But if you wanted to sell your home, start your listing, the listing process, value of a professional, determining your home value, and getting ready for listing. So we have developed a really nice, and I paid one of my admins, Melissa Wilson, was working for me at the time, and she was, her degree is in math, like she has a mathematics degree. Guys, I could barely pass algebra because I'm a concrete thinker. I'm not an abstract thinker. And two negatives, you've heard me say this, when you multiply them, become a positive. How in the world does that happen? Logically, it doesn't. I'm not an abstract thinker. I'm just, give me accounting math and we got this. So Melissa helped develop this and Autumn has just slowly been tweaking it. If you're on our homepage, you're going to see different houses that I think are scrolling, right? So you do need to pay, because the reason I tell you this is because guess what? When I say now, how did you find me? Your website. I'm hearing that more and more than ever before.
It's probably because that featured listing section that somebody does really well. I don't know.
Is it you?
It's me.
I used to be Autumn. She finds it.
Yeah.
Haley's a fairly new agent and she was coached by me. And you've been licensed how long? A year?
It'll be a year in October.
Year in October. And so we've hired her to come on 3 days a week to work as an admin while she's getting her business off the ground because Autumn wears 5 hats. And we really need to hire somebody. And we've tried to hire a marketing specialist and we couldn't find somebody qualified. We really couldn't find somebody and we tried. Okay, what ahas do you guys have? What have you learned? Please tell me you're learning.
Oh yeah, I just
So much.
yeah.
Okay, we're going to define your value proposition. So you really need to get what's going on in your head Because every time we've talked about this, you guys are thinking certain words are popping into your head. Or certain things that you value that you want other people to value in you is going through your mind. We're going to have you write your first value proposition in a few minutes. Okay. We're okay on time. Now that we've learned the basics of the value proposition, let me make sure nobody's asking a question. Nobody is. We are going to talk about how to define your own. There are 3 steps to define your value proposition. Identify your knowledge, attitudes, skills, and beliefs that make you qualified to be a great real estate agent. So if you have it printed out, highlight it or underline it, knowledge, attitude, skill, beliefs. Those are what going to qualify you to become a great real estate agent. Transform the value you provide and the value of KW and your market center into benefits for your clients. Guys, when I'm selling myself, I'm selling Ben Crenshaw too.
Trying to find that page. in this.
It's not in there.
Yeah, okay, I got that. I saw that earlier.
Yeah, so let me see. Let me see what the next slide says. Okay, there it is. There it is. There you go. Is that what you're looking for? The knowledge, attitude, skills, and beliefs? That's what my grandson Charlie says. He's 2. There it is. And you can barely understand him, but he says it in this. I just said what Charlie said, and he just went home yesterday. Okay, so step 1 of defining your value. We went over for your value proposition to resonate in a meaningful way with your clients. It must be aligned with who you are and what your true abilities are. Don't BS. Okay. So somebody share with me, what's a strength you have? Somebody online can share with me too.
I like research.
Okay. You will become a market expert very quickly, much quicker than I would have, because I don't like research. And I do it because I have to.
I do the same thing. I always call myself almost every job I was called the finder. Because if you're talking about something, anything you want or whatever, if I can't find it, I'll find it.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to go with that.
She's a finder. I say, Autumn, how do I do this? Or she'll hear me coaching and she'll come in and say, can I help you? It's like, yes. And so somebody else share, somebody in Zoom, will you type in the chat? Somebody did. Okay, strong integrity. Who's that? Is that Aaron? Personable and energetic. Jade, I know you can't talk, but strong integrity. That's her, totally. Personable, energetic. That's good. Anybody else?
I'm bilingual. Is that something?
Yes, that's huge. So are you Spanish?
Spanish, yes.
Who's talking?
Sarah.
Sarah? How long have you been able to speak Spanish, and did you grow up bilingual?
I grew up bilingual. My first language is English, but I can speak it fluently.
That's so impressive. I used to go to Nicaragua, went 4 times for missions, and I learned how to sing. I have decided to follow Jesus in Spanish.
That's
I'm
awesome.
not going to sing it for you because I don't sing very well. But I remember asking my husband, could the kids and I just stay here for 2 months? Because we did a whole year of Spanish in homeschooling, hired a Spanish teacher for a co-op that I was involved in, because my kids have a diploma. They don't have a GED. They have a full-blown diploma. We are a full-blown registered private school in Louisiana. And I made sure that they got all the credits. You had to have a half a credit in business. You had to have a half a credit in a language. And so we picked Spanish. They wanted to pick Italian. And I said, guys, you'll use Spanish in America far more than you'll use Italian. Let's do Spanish. So we did. But I learned more being immersed for a week down in Nicaragua than I did in a whole year of Spanish classes. So I commend you, Sarah. I just want to hang with you and have you teach me Spanish because I love it.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Okay. Anybody else want to share? What's the strength you have? Nobody has any strengths? Sean, you have a strength? Digital marketing. Okay, that's huge. I'm terrible at it. That's huge. So do it. You guys, I do want to say social media is a more passive approach of marketing. But I can't tell you how many people Austin has gotten from social media that I have not. If you're good at it, you'll make it work for you. And you got to always get on and answer questions and figure out what makes people like it, what makes people, you got to have a hook because they're only going to scroll for a few seconds before they move on. We have very short attention span. Transform the value you provide and the market value of KW and your market center into beliefs or benefits for your clients. So, Alina, when you did your buyer guide and your listing packet, I think you put the Y4C2Ts in there. Why did you put that in there?
Because it was something that always spoke to me when I joined Keller Williams, because it was like, it was kind of like our Ten Commandments, kind of like it's the
Yeah.
rules that we follow.
It is a little bit of our Ten Commandments, isn't it? C, 4Cs.
Two T's.
I think it's 11 of them or something. I count them and see. I don't know. But okay, think through how your knowledge, attitudes, skills, and beliefs can be beneficial to your clients. Many of your life experiences can be relevant to real estate, big time. If you don't see it, look at it from another angle. Even if you haven't articulated it to yourself, you have already used your experiences to help others. So true. Perhaps you were a teacher or a little league coach. You have experience helping others. How did your personal experience make you especially helpful? How could you use it in the future? When considering how to make it real estate relevant, think about what buyers and sellers say are most important factors to them. Now think through the value you receive from KW. So think about what you get from KW. Do you get something when you go to sales meetings? Don't miss sales meetings. A lot of people miss them. I used to go just to listen to what Leslie Heath would say about her being from here. I just wanted to learn more about this area. And I always got a nugget from another seasoned agent. Always, always, always. Tammy Cawthorn. Always, always, always. And I used to have to drive all the way to Murray for the meetings because we had nothing in Paducah when I first moved here. When meeting with a potential client, you could share that statistic with them. You could share, let's say that your market center averages 98.9% of listing price. So there is a graph, I think it's a bar graph in statistical, in the MLS that will tell you where it listed and what it sold for. That's a really good thing you can print and show somebody. You can also think about the service that you offer others you can think about services you offer that are made faster, more convenient, and more accurate when you use Keller Williams technology. Okay, in your participant guide, Elena, you're there. There's a chart. I don't know where it is. It says, let me read what it says. It says, ask participants to fill out the two charts in their participant guide. The first chart is related to the value they provide. The second chart is related to the value they receive. Do you? Oh, okay. Okay, so guys, I want you to take a couple of minutes, like 5 minutes. Do you see what we're talking about? What you need? Yes. People online, and I don't have it. It doesn't show it on the screen for me, I don't think.
410 in the participants guide.
Okay.
Yes, I see. I've got the chart. Yeah.
It's 410 and 411. And so I
Yes.
want you to take 5 minutes and I want you to fill it out for me, please.
Amy, can you tell me the difference? So for attitude and beliefs, do they kind of, are they the same thing?
No, I think your attitude is one of your cup is half full or half empty. I
Oh,
think, does that make sense? And I think your belief is the foundational core of who you are. That's what I would say. So, yeah, I will make no apologies. I have some people say, sorry, I got religious on you. God has made such a big impact in my life since May 19th, 1985, actually. And so I don't take my Jesus hat off ever. And I have lost business because I asked somebody if they went to church or I offered to pray over them. And I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
So that's who I am. That's my belief, right? I'm not going to push it on you, but I'm certainly not going to step out of it either. But my attitude, I had, all those years of homeschooling, I had a poster in my classroom and it said, your attitude will always determine the outcome. So think of Eeyore versus Tigger or versus Winnie the Pooh, right? Eeyore is woe is me. I am never a woe is me kind of person, ever, ever. Although I have been grumbling a little bit to my husband about some things, and God really convicted me the other day. So that's in my private, but it's still not okay because your attitude will always determine the outcome, always, always. And so I think your attitude is my cup half full? Am I a positive person or am I a negative person? And does that spill over into your core beliefs and values? It probably does. It probably does. Or maybe your core beliefs, out of that comes your attitude. Maybe.
Okay.
So I've been doing a gratitude journal for 10 years now, and I do 3 gratitudes every morning on paper in a gratitude journal. And I have a bunch of them that I think will be a really good legacy to leave my family, because I hope they read my gratitude journals.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I thank God for the hard things too. I've learned along the way to thank him for the hard things, not just the good things and the easy things.
So for
Did I answer? Go ahead.
sorry, for honest and dependable, is that like a belief or an attitude?
No, that's who you are. What did you say?
I mean, I feel like being honest is a belief.
Well,
Like,
honest is a personality trait, kind of.
Yeah, it just added the 4 categories.
Yeah, I think honesty, either you're going to stretch the truth, which is a blatant lie, because truth is truth and lies are lies, right? If it's not 100% honest. So there are people who will stretch the truth to get a listing. And then okay, let me use an example. When I have a listing and an agent calls and says, do you have any offers on the table? What's the tendency of agents to do or say? Yes, I'm expecting an offer any minute now. When in fact, that's not true. Just trying to get them to put an offer in. So that's a really good example of, I think, honesty and integrity. I say, no, we've had several showings and not one offer yet. We'd love to get your offer. Don't stretch the truth. That's manipulative. And so I think that's the difference between attitude and belief. Is that what you asked me? The difference between attitude and belief?
Yes.
Does somebody else want to add to that to help bring clarification? Okay, do you have your thing all filled out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, does somebody want to share with me? Just pick one thing and share with the group.
My knowledge, I guess, sales background. Excuse me.
Okay, what did you used to sell?
So ever since my very first job, I've always had to sell. Like my very, very first job was like timeshares. And I was
Oh my gosh.
but in reality, we're always selling. I mean, it doesn't matter where. I worked for policy research and it wasn't like physically money, but I had to literally get people to join our the program that we were starting at that time. So we're constantly selling. We're always selling ourselves, selling a program, selling something.
You're right. You are so right. And if nothing else, we're selling ourselves to be accepted, to be valued. You're right. You are so right. Anybody else? Share one thing.
I also put on knowledge because the example is finance degree and
Okay.
I don't know. So mine was, that I've been in sales since 15.
Okay, because you have. Okay, anybody else? One more?
I have a degree in psychology, so put that down, but I think that degree has helped me in sales.
Because it helps you to understand
Because
people and how they think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree totally. Yeah. You're an analyzer of people. Do you analyze yourself?
Over.
Okay, if I could tell you guys to do anything in life in general, it's have self-awareness. There's a book, I want you to write down this title. It's called Happy Me, Healthy Me, Healthy Me, Healthy Us. And the subtitle is, it says, you're only as healthy. No, your relationships are only as healthy as you are.
Right.
My other favorite book is Boundaries by Cloud and Townsend. And I've taught that to many nonprofits over the years. The more self-awareness you have, the more you will be about changing and growing and becoming the best you can be. And I'm all about that. Maybe because I grew up in such a dysfunctional family. I had to figure out what makes me tick and how not to carry those generational curses on. And I've broken so many off. It's all of us, all 4 or 5 of us. And I have 4 sisters, no brothers. And man, have we broken some alcoholism, tobacco, infidelity, narcissism. The list goes on and on and on. Okay, so build your value proposition statement. What you guys have answered is the start of your value proposition. Okay, I would love for you guys you guys all have my phone number in your phone? That's very bad. Give him that cord. My door's on the back of there, my big door. I love my door. Text me your first rough draft of your value proposition, or email it to me. My email's on there, or call me with it. Okay, because I would love to hear what it is. Okay. The strongest value proposition for your client combines the value you offer backed by the value offered by Keller Williams. That's probably why, Elena, you like the Y4T, 3 2 T's, 4 2 T's. That too. I say it right sometimes, and then sometimes I don't. Remember that it's not about perfection. Your value proposition will most likely change as you learn new skills and gain more experience as an agent. It will so change. You guys, this listing packet, I wish you could have seen my first 8-page listing packet. It was pathetic. But I had something to keep me on task so I didn't squirrel and take what should have happened in 30 minutes, 2 hours later, right? So just build off it. These are living documents. They'll continue to change. Share your value proposition in your market centers if it has one. Ask participants to build their value proposition using at least 2 of the benefits they wrote down in step 2. So part of your homework is to build your value proposition. Please text it to me when you're done. Any questions on that?
Is that considered a value proposition?
Is what?
Stress-free
buying and selling?
Is that like a motto? I don't know.
Yeah, I like that. I don't want you to say the word stress-free because I don't know that's possible. But how about less stress in buying and selling?
Yes. That's ChatGPT did it for me, so.
We've been using them to start us on writing some of our descriptions of lake houses and things, and I just crack up. I just absolutely crack up. Okay, so don't forget to do your value proposition. We're not going to take time to role play because I've got a few more slides I need to get through. Okay, what'd you get out of this section?
A lot.
Okay, what's a lot mean?
Deeper understanding.
Good.
Yes.
Keep going.
Value. I'm definitely, I had a problem where I didn't know why I was selling overpriced homes, but it was because I had no understanding of the value that we provide.
Mm-hmm. The more you, the stronger, the more you learn, the more tools. I had a miniature toolbox built from when I was coaching, and I never got it from Melissa. That's what you get for firing somebody. Anyway, it was a small toolbox and I need to call her mother because she has it. It's got KW on there. But we had in there a miniature buyer guide and a miniature listing packet. And we had scripts and we had all these different tools. I even had a measuring tool in there because you need to know the square footage of a house. So there was these little bitty buying tools because that's why I have a tiny house. I love miniatures. I have a tiny boat. I love miniatures. And so you have to have tools in your toolbox. The more tools you add to your toolbox, Ignite is in my toolbox. Bold is in my toolbox. These little bitty books in my toolbox. Those are all tools that will make you guys develop a better value proposition over time, over the next few months, the next few years. I can't believe I've lived in Western Kentucky for 10 years. I remember praying and saying, God, I just want 8 years in Western Kentucky. I love it here. I don't want to move. He's given me 10 so far, and I don't think we're going anywhere. At least not right now. Okay, so let's talk about your homework assignments. We've got just a few minutes left. It's 11:50. We did good considering I got off to a really bad start, 7 minutes late. Do your 10 conversations. Set a goal to do 10 conversations a day. Guys, that's only 50 a week. And you got 2 extra days on the weekends to get it done. So if you start with this, Bold will be much easier because I want you all to sign up for Bold. 10 contacts added. How many have started their database? I know you have. How many do you have in there, Sean?
I really don't know.
Okay.
But it's there.
I want you to text me how many you have in there, and I
think
want.
it's about 60-ish.
Okay. Do you have phone numbers and email addresses? Okay. Don't worry about filling out all the other information. Your phone number and your email address is the most important. You can't do smart plans. You can't do campaigns without the email. And if you need a script around that, I did it in coaching and I think I wrote it. I don't know. But I would tell you to reach out to your sphere after you get a buyer guide done or a pre-listing packet done and say, hey, my brokerage, Keller Williams, has coached me, or our team leader, or I've been challenged to come up with a buyer guide. I would really value your opinion. Would you look through it? And it'll just take you a few minutes and give me some thoughts on how I can improve it. Send me over your email address. People always want to help you. Most of it, I have had nobody turn me down. And that was probably a Diana Kokosic script, probably. I don't think I made it up. But anyway, there's ways to get an email address. But then take to heart what they might send you back. Follow back up with them. Hey, I know you're busy. Did you have a chance to look through my buyer guide? What was helpful? What wasn't helpful? Okay, so there's ways to get those email addresses. Social media, I want you guys to do those top 2, 10 conversions, conversations and 10 contacts added. And the handwritten notes, I don't think that you can do 10 a day. Leslie Heath is the queen of handwritten notes. My little sister is the queen of handwritten notes. When people don't mail anymore, and my heart is warmed when my little sister sends me a thank you note, because she doesn't just focus on the birthday present. She builds me up in so many other ways. So to me, I would say do 2 of those a day. Do some, but I would tell you, get your 10 and 10 done out of everything on here. Those are the most important, more than the social media. This is my scale thing, guys. I just put a value to everything. Any questions?
So
You
you
know-
said, sorry, you said do 10 combos and 10 calls for sure, and the rest of them.
I would do some of them,
Okay.
but if I had to skimp on something, it would not be those first 2 things. So
Okay.
you have income producing activities and you have non-income producing activities. I'm going to tell you straight up, social media is a fluffier form of income producing. The handwritten notes, what we sow comes back to us. If you don't, the Christian version doesn't say karma, but what we give out comes back to us. It just does. And so if you send out handwritten notes, and if you say, okay, I'm going to commit to 5 a day instead of 10, you know why I have a hard time with 10? Because I write books. I'm not a woman of few words. I'm a woman of many words. And I can't just say, Haley, I love you. Have a great day, Amy. I have to tell you why I love you, all the ways that I love you. So it takes me much longer than it might you guys. So if you can get the 10, if you can do everything, strive to do it all. I always say, reach for the stars. And if you land on the moon, you'll be in a good spot, right? But do those 10 and 10 because those are the biggest income producing out of all of these. Okay, let's read together a positive, hang on, Paula. Okay, ready? I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution and people are happy
to be in a relationship with me.
with me. Do you believe that?
Yes,
Why do you believe that? Sarah, is that Sarah?
yes,
do
because
you believe
it's
that?
true. I like to read the Bible, so I know it's true.
It is true. It is true. You are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Amen.
Okay, let's go ahead and do just a couple minutes of role play. I think, okay, so talk to me and maybe what I'll do is teach you a few scripts about lead generation instead of role playing. Would you like that? That'd probably be a little bit more beneficial. When you guys lead generate, when you cold call, when you get on the phone or you knock on a door, what is your number one fear?
Rejection.
Rejection.
Okay. Why do you fear rejection so much?
For me, I've always taken rejection as personal. That's something that I've slowly have been and still trying to get over. They're not rejecting me personally, they're rejecting.
Okay, I would tell you, Sean, to write a positive affirmation stating just the opposite of that. The truth is, those 3 words are really, really powerful. And I got them from a counselor down in Louisiana. The truth is, people are not rejecting Sean. They're just rejecting a real estate opportunity, or they don't need my services at this time. But guys, remember early on, I told you an objection is not a no. If you embrace that one thing, it's I need more information. An objection is not a no, it's I need it. A rejection is not a no. It's just a no, not right now. And maybe it's not even a no, just not right now. Right? So keep on knocking on doors, keep on making phone calls. When I call, so I have a big, please come in while Autumn's gone. I have a pretty good size list pile. My dad was a pile guy, really bad, hoardery pile kind of guy. So I'm way better than that, but I do come by it honestly. So I have one pile on my desk about this high, and it's been there since you worked for me. It's gotten smaller and then it grew, and then it got smaller and then it grew. Because I have so many appointments that I let myself come and go. I show up 7 minutes late. But what I do is I refuse to throw that pile away because those are contacts. Those are people I need to reach out. And my drunk monkey says they don't want to talk to me. My drunk monkey says it's been too long to contact them. When in fact, the opposite is true. Most of them go, Amy, how are you doing? Not took you long enough to call me.
I was just thinking about you.
Yeah. So most of the time, every now and then I get somebody that's going to be rude and maybe even hang up on me. And I go, after they hang up on me, it's like, it's your loss, not mine. It is. I could have helped them. I could have maybe given them some information to help them make the decision that's right for their family. So on my calendar, this is why I have a pile. So one of the first things Autumn put into place, and Elena, you tried. Let me give you an E for effort. My calendar's not on here.
It's like, go to those little dots by your face over there.
Calendar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where to find it. I just thought it was already up there. Okay, this is my calendar, okay? So we have everything color coded. Some of my weeks are better than others. The green represents income, money. The dark green represents a closing. See that dark green? So orange is my personal. We have a lot of appointments on here. I really don't have an excuse for I was late other than I just lost track of time. But my point being, when I make a phone call, I do have a full schedule, but they don't need to hear about it. I can apologize that it's taken me a little longer than I intended to call you back, but are you still looking to buy a house? Some of them are going to say, nope, I've already bought, to which that's on me. I lost out, but some are going to say, yeah, I still need to. Great, we had you set up on a search. Was that beneficial? Can we get you set up on another search? So when you guys make phone calls, especially you two new agents, brand new agents, Paula, you're fairly new. When you make phone calls, just introduce yourself. Did you know I became a realtor? And I just have one simple question for you. Do you have a quick minute? Are you looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? They're going to probably say no. Say great. I say great to everything. It's that attitude thing. Great. Who do you know that I can reach out and just introduce myself to? Who might need my services? There's a great script. It's a Diana Cacosa script. I tweaked it a little bit, but it says what she pretty much has to know. Just introduce yourself as a new agent. I'm building my database. I'm building my sphere. I'm getting good practice in lead generation. When you guys became a realtor, you had no idea that you were going to have to become a good lead generator. It will serve you well for the rest of your life. What questions do you have? What ahas do you have?
Jenny, you're wrong. Is that what you're saying here? Okay. I will say on the part about affirmations is that I also hated them so much when we took bold. And then by the end of bold, I had actually written my own affirmation, and Amy has it hanging up in her office. I do need to get a copy of that too. Because
I need to give you a copy.
So, but yeah, we wrote our own, and it's hanging up in her office. So they do work, and it does change
What
your
does it say?
mindset. I am strong. I am
Bold.
bold.
I can't remember. And
I
look
can't
at it
remember
all the
either.
time.
It's up there, but I don't know. I can't remember what it
It's
says.
really good. I had it framed. It's really good. And I glance at those things, and guys, what you think about, you bring about, right? So what you're investing in you, kudos to you. I can't commend you enough for being here. Stick it out for the whole course, because everyone is going to build off the last one, and it's really, really good information. Your next session is generate your leads. It's going to be really, really helpful. Does it make sense to you guys what you need to be saying when you call somebody? Okay, what do you say when you knock on a door?
Almost the same thing.
Kind of, but kind of not. In your MLS, you can do a quick summary CMA. So if you pick a neighborhood, like my neighborhood, Sean Quillan, you can print out this really impressive chart that has solds, actives, pendings, and expires for over the last year, and it's going to give them market data. And so I would just knock on a door and say, hi, I'm Amy. I'm one of your neighbors. I live at 41 Martin Circle. Are you guys considering selling anytime soon? Nope, we love it here. Great. Can I give you some information about what your neighborhood, our neighborhood has done over the past year? And my contact information is at the bottom. Call me if you have any question or if I can ever assist you in any way. There's a bold contact. I want you guys to bold. And I love CMA quick summaries. And you can give them out in neighborhoods all day long. Unless there's no data for that neighborhood, then you might have to go back 2 years. And I don't recommend that. Okay, guys, we're about done. Ahas. We are done. Ahas. That good, huh? They learned nothing.
No, all day.
Just tell me one thing you learned today.
Oh, there's a lot, but let me just gather my thoughts.
Okay.
That's how I'm like running through it all.
Then I'm gonna do a value proposition when I get home and
Good
figure out
girl.
who I am.
Value
As a salesperson.
propositions are huge. They will
Alright.
set you apart from your competition.
Well, kind of what I took a lot out of today, but just when you said before you do a listing presentation, just ask them what is the most important thing to that seller that a realtor can do for you,
Yes. Mhm.
and try to focus on
Yeah,
that.
and just get quiet and let them speak.
And then, communication is huge.
Yeah, husband and wives, when they're at the table, let each of them give their own answer. But oftentimes they have a different thing that's important. And husband's gonna say most money. And the wife's gonna say, I want to hear from you. I didn't hear from my last realtor. Is often what I hear. What else? What did you get out of this, Elena?
Learning more like about my market, current, like being the local expert on what's going on. Because a lot of people ask, but I don't know what it is. Like, I can't remember what team meeting I was at, but they asked, what's the average press? Press asked, what's the average sales price? And I was like,
I don't know.
You know,
I have 250,000 for McCracken County.
okay, what about the MLS?
I don't know about that one.
207.
207.
Yeah, our average is 197.
And you could see all that under statistical reporting in MLS. Sean, what's something you got out of this?
I think it's just the central theme today was, that I got out of it was always them over me. Always
Always what?
them over me, the client over me.
Sure. That's good. What did you get out of this?
Work on my marketing, how I speak, you know, especially my value proposition. I need to work on that. Kind of feel, there's all these things I'm doing is kind of filling in the blanks and let me know, hey, this is what's important. So, yeah.
Value proposition is something, again, that you'll build off of. But you got to have one, it's foundational to be successful down the road.
Can I interject on the value proposition? I just went to the Leadership Academy first class and they had us work on our value proposition. And the first exercise we did to it was, it's 3 steps. You name the circumstances, your thoughts through that circumstance, and your belief because of that thought. We'll start helping build who you are. And that circumstance can be all the way back from when you were a kid, you know. That's a good way. It was a good way to build our value. We did a whole like hour and a half on that.
Yeah, okay, can you brought back who you were as a kid? Do you guys realize that your character began being shaped, what you do as a child?
That's yours.
Was that mine? Is this mine?
That's yours. You asked for a multi-year trend.
Oh, okay, thank you. This is what we go over in the LC. As a child, your integrity, your honesty, or lack of whatever you value as an adult, think back to your childhood. So I grew up with one very narcissistic parent and I adored him. He was my dad. My dad was a big time quarter horse rancher, cattle rancher in Wyoming. But my dad, and he was a big gun. He was known in the rodeo world. He was on the circuit when he was latter high school, college years. He was one of the #1 Bronco buck riders for horses in all that area. He judged the biggest rodeo of them all, Granddaddy of them all, Zion Frontier Days. Okay, hang on with Jay. He was a great guy, but he stretched the truth a little bit. What do you think I learned? Not to stretch the truth a little bit. And then fast forward to 1985 and I get radically saved. And the Holy Spirit springs, it immediately says to me, that's not the total truth. It's like, what? I had to uproot that of me. What the behavior I'd seen all my life. You see, our character is formed in how we're raised. And who we become, we get to choose because I could change that and I did. But my point being, this starts in your childhood. Okay, Jade, I really struggle with confidence in all areas. So building out the value proposition helped me because be confident in the fact that I went to real estate school and I passed. I am the expert over my buyers and sellers, and I have valuable information and experience to give. That's a great affirmation right there. I am the expert over my buyers and sellers, and I have valuable information and experience to give. There's a great, good job, Jade. That's really good. Did you give me what you got out of today? What your
I
number
did
was?
the listing presentation, ask what was important to the seller.
Okay, you did. Always ask questions. Become a good question asker. We're out of time. Does anybody have a question for me?
Sarah and Tanya there too. They may have.
What?
Sarah and Tanya still on?
Yeah, everybody's on. I don't know. Tony's been really quiet. Tanya. Oh, it's Tanya. It's not Tony. It's not.
No,
Tony.
I'm Tanya. I'm Tanya. I'm sorry. I guess mine was just the importance of words. I wrote down a lot of things the way you said them, because the way you said things would probably affect people differently. And just a lot, I did write down just a lot of things you said and how you said them, especially like the buying power and those kind of things. And just saying, listening to people and saying, well, can I share my opinion and things like that? And the value proposition is going to drive me crazy until I get it done. So that's where I am.
Okay, good. Tanya, I read your name is Tony A. Lewis.
And I don't know why I have no space. And see, I am a
Spoke with us
retired
today.
teacher. Yeah, I'm a retired teacher, and that is driving me completely crazy because my Lewis is not capitalized and all kinds of craziness.
It's not correct, right?
Right, it's not correct. It is not correct, and that's driving me crazy.
Well,
But it's
Tanya,
okay.
I'm glad you joined us, and Aaron and Sarah and Jade, thank you guys for sticking it out. Hopefully you guys learned a lot. Do your homework. It will pay off. Or else. Or else I'll sick bin on you.
Well, thank you for teaching.
You're welcome.
So the next class is Tuesday, not Monday, it's Tuesday, same time.
Okay, you guys got that Tuesday next week?
Yeah, because Monday's Labor Day.
Monday's a holiday. Monday's my anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
But it's Tuesday, Thursday next week. And I know Linda's teaching Tuesday.
Awesome. You guys don't miss it. Thank you for coming. You live where?
Murray, Kentucky.
Okay, so you both are out of
Sure
the
it's not
Murray office.
Tennessee?
What?
It's not Murray, Tennessee.
Murray,
No.
Kentucky. Just making sure you know where you live, right? Okay, guys, I'm gonna sign off. Have a blessed day, rest of your day.
You as well. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Yeah. So.